Oh, here we go. I'm going to start with this. Stephanie, you ready?
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Even if you don't like beer, that still sounds cool.
Yeah, it's a crisp sound. Yeah, I don't know if my margarita makes a noise. If I can even. No, that wasn't very satisfying.
That didn't. You got a little like frictiony scratch. Yeah, not quite nails on a chalkboard, but cheers to your Cayman sugar-free Cinco de Mayo beverage.
Yeah,
margarita in the house.
Exactly.
Business nerds, we got Stephanie Pipkin in the house. And Stephanie, I have a problem with you in that I was trying to write the title for the show. And I was like, from Serene Clean and then from the Filthy Rich Cleaners podcast. And I was like, I'm running out of, I got scolded by LinkedIn because we go live on LinkedIn. I got scolded. Yeah. So I got a problem with that, but I figured it out. I abbreviated, I did whatever I needed to do to make it work, and we're live. We're making it happen.
Heck yeah. Let me share this on my Facebook. I've never done this before. This is so exciting.
Oh yeah. We're changing the world. I gotta go. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna copy the link. This is the it's like analog in a digital world. It feels like I gotta copy the link from our Best Damn Bookkeeping Facebook page, only because like everybody can see it on the Best Damn Bookkeeping page or see it on my personal page. But if they comment, this is just me being OCD. If they comment on the live feed on my personal page, I can't put it on the screen. And I like to have fun. And when people comment, I want to interact with it and I want to put it on the screen. But if they comment on my personal feed, I can't put it there. So I do this thing where I post the link to the Best Damn Bookkeeping page, which is why I'm looking off to the side right now because I'm posting it. There's the link. And then I pin it. And then when people comment on my personal page, I scold them. I'm like, no, can't do that.
That's fabulous.
And I have 3 kids, so I'm an expert scolder.
Yeah. I have 3 cats and a dog, so it's pretty much the same thing, I think.
It actually is. This was I was mentioning this before we went live. Our 3rd kid was in large part because my mother-in-law didn't want to watch pets, and she was like, "I'm not watching a dog." And I was like, "Well, that sucks. I'm like a total dog dude. I'm like a Labrador crotch sniffing dog, sort of Midwestern, And my wife and I were already debating. Like, we got 2 kids. We know that we're abandoning man-to-man defense and going to zone defense if we have a 3rd kid. And so there was this debate, but we're like, man, it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, if you have a 3rd kid, you're not going to regret it. You're just going to love the kid. And if you don't, then you're going to get a dog, except we can't, like my mother-in-law won't watch a dog and we're gone all the time. And so we got a 3rd kid. We named him Crosby. There's a long story as to why his name is Crosby, but he goes by Crosdog and he's 3 and he eats stuff off the floor and he kind of poops and pees where he wants to.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's a dog at heart. So
it's pretty much the same thing, I think. So, I mean, I say that about employees too. They're just like children. Like you just got to kind of, keep them in line.
Your expectations, enforce policies. It is what it is.
In the most loving way possible. Of like, I love you. And therefore, that's why I'm doing this rule right now.
It is. And actually, what I have found, this has taken me so long to get to mental, and I'm still not over it, but I have a big mental hurdle with, I feel like I owe an employee a thing. And so I put up with bad behaviors for far too long sometimes because I'm like guilty, or maybe I'm chicken shit. I don't know what it is. But what I always have to remember is like, I need to protect my A players, like my lights out, no doubt about it. No complaints, always working their asses off, like do whatever it takes. That's who I need to protect. And if they're stuck working with a shitty coworker, then it's my fault because I'm being too shitty to let somebody go.
So, I totally agree. I think that's the worst thing you can possibly do as an owner is let your best team players see you being a coward and not calling out the bad behavior, right? And allowing it. Because it just makes you really resentful of like, well, why do I even try if that behavior is allowed here? And so I totally agree. It's like you kind of owe it to them. And anytime we've like had to make a big fire, I always share it with the whole team of like, what happened? What did they do? In like a respectful manner, obviously like respecting privacy, but it's like, they need to know that like, I can feel the respect in the room growing for me. Cause they're like, oh, Stephanie's going to take care of business if necessary, you know?
Yep. Look at this guy. This guy knows the drill. This guy knows the right comment section and post in the right spot so that I put it on. Drew Larison, everybody, 5 Door Media.
Hell yeah. I love Drew. You're the best, Drew.
Drew, you will find money in your bank account, courtesy of Best Damn Bookkeeping, for Clean Con late September, 28th, 29th, 30th, I'm pretty sure. We'll be there. Although, Drew, you need to know this. This is how big of a deal this is. He says, this ain't my first rodeo. I am overlapping with a fishing trip. I have a hard and fast rule that I do not miss a hunting or fishing trip. I'm a Wisconsin. Stephanie knows we're both from Wisconsin.
Oh yeah.
I'm as like Wisconsin as it gets. And if it's hunting and fishing, I'm out there doing that, and I'm putting the fish in the freezer. I literally have 4 chest freezers. That is not a lie.
Oh, I believe it. That's a very Midwest thing of you to say.
Yeah. I'm also an accountant, so I do a FIFO system. I got my first in, first out. Got the process, got to age some stuff. With fish, it's more of a last in, first out. With venison and turkey, is more of a first in, first out. So Drew, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. I'm gonna make it happen. I might be a day later, a day early. I got to see how the fishing trip goes, but we're gonna figure it out.
Hell yeah. I have 2 weddings sandwiched. It's my 2 best friends are getting married, and literally it's the weekend before Clean Con and the weekend after. So I'll be Wisconsin, Texas, Boston. Like, it's gonna be a crazy, but I'm like, I'm going to Clean Con. Like,
I saw your post. Give us a little rundown. So I have a radio show that I do as well, and we have a segment called Where in the World with JC and Angela from Unique Genius, because every time they're on the show, they're like in a different.
Well, they travel all the time. Yeah.
All the time. And so you were just in Vegas. I saw you were hanging out in Vegas, and was your leadership team there with you? Who was you had a few gals there with you, and you were doing some Alex Harmozy stuff. What the heck do you have going on? And like, you hit a few stops I saw.
Yeah, so we went to Las Vegas for a Hormozy scaling workshop. It's definitely something that's been on my list of things that I was like, I think it's time for us to do this. We haven't ever done a management trip of just like going and having fun. You know, I've had my business for 7 years, and it's always been one of the things that I want to do is take them out and have a big trip with them. So we turned it into fun and business. So I flew them out from Wisconsin. I met them from Savannah. We frolicked about Las Vegas. I'd never been to Las Vegas. It was super fun.
Really?
So we went to the Sphere. Yeah, it was great. Had a ton of fun. And then the conference was Wednesday, Thursday, and that was super cool. And like, I'm still like, right yesterday they posted like my question on Alex Hermozy's socials. So right now today has just been like shell shock of like his audience kind of like coming on, and it's been just crazy. So that's been wild of like I'm like, post Filthy Rich Cleaners, get them to the Filthy Rich Cleaners, like anybody who's like looking at that. So that's been really cool, but it was really useful. We definitely got a lot of clarity on our next steps. And then we all flew to Wisconsin, where my business is, because I run remotely from Savannah. I stayed up there for about a week, and now I'm back to Savannah. I turned around, went to Atlanta, saw Bruno Mars, because I love Bruno Mars, and he never tours. So that was really cool. And then as for the rest of the year, it's going to be pretty crazy. I'm going to Boston in, 2 weeks for my birthday, because I'm turning 30, which is really exciting. So nice. I'll be doing that because my kind of work best friend is Zen Maid, Nicole. She lives in Boston. So going to go up there. And then Charleston for Chris Stapleton. That'll be cool in June. And then, because I love Chris Stapleton. And then it'll be up to Wisconsin for a wedding party of one of my managers, because she got married. And then I'll be headed to Spain for 2 weeks with ZenMaid. So for those of you not familiar, ZenMaid is the software company that I host Filthy Rich Cleaners for. It's
I couldn't put that in the title. There was not
too many things.
Throw the ZenMaid reference in there.
Yeah. So I work for ZenMaid, and but I've been a customer of theirs for 7 years, and that's kind of how that relationship started. So every year they do a retreat for the entire team, which is really cool, and they fly us out to. So I've been down Amsterdam, Barcelona, and then this year's Barcelona again. So that'll be a couple weeks there. And then Wisconsin a few times for my best friend's wedding. And then just work Christmas party, that type of stuff. And then Boston again for Nicole's wedding, Clean Con. And then I have to go back out to Las Vegas in November because I signed up for their, roadmap where they kind of do a huge audit of your business and they kind of line it out. So
Sweet.
I haven't invested in kind of any type of mentoring for a couple of years. So I was like, I feel like it's time, and I've already gotten a lot of value from it.
It is funny to me with like coaching and mentoring. It comes in phases for me.
Yes,
where
same.
I feel like I'm in a phase where I feel like I've got it, and I don't want the obligation of having to like implement somebody else's stuff or like go to the things and like take the time, because the travel and the time. And again, like I have 3 little kids. Like I hate leaving unless I'm like, it's got to be like the perfect situation to leave. And so I go in like ebbs and flows of coaching and consulting things, but it's got to like hit right with the right people at the right time, for sure.
That's exactly how it's been for me. Of like, for the first like 2 years I had coaching, then I kind of like, I was like, I think I learned what I need to learn there, put the things into place. And now it's like, all right, we're kind of been stuck and at a plateau. So let's bring in outside Molly Moran. We did a call with her, and that was like incredible because I know she really is. And so it was so useful because we knew we had to switch to flat rate. We've been hourly since day one in Serene Clean, which is for residential, of course. Yeah. Crazy, huh? Crazy. And so I knew in my heart, I was like, I know we should switch to flat rate, but every time I broached it, we're like, no, this is this is too much of a colossal like thing to move the ship at this point.
It's a
big change. And so I reached out to Molly. I was like, look, I know that you can kind of walk us through this transition. And I hopped on with my management team, and we just, hit her with questions. I'm like, what about, because it's like, yes, we understand in theory that this is a good idea, but what about? There was a million what abouts. And so once we kind of got that clarity, and we're like, all right. And then we headed off to Vegas. I was like, as soon as we get back, we're switching all of our clients and all new clients over to flat rate. So we've already been implementing it, and it's been going like incredibly well. So I'm so excited about that.
I have found, because I sell bookkeeping as like a flat rate thing. We have an hourly rate, and bookkeeping and maid service are the exact same thing. It's hilarious. The only difference is I can clean digitally. I don't need to clean physically, which allows me to be more efficient with a 2-person team. Like when we had maid services, we did solos and tried to like adopt the CBF model, Debbie Sardone. And like the flat rate works really well, except initial cleans suck on a flat rate because you don't know what you're walking into.
Yeah, you can lose your ass for sure.
so when we do onboarding for bookkeeping, it's on an hourly rate. Once we're on like monthly maintenance mode, then it's fixed rate, because it's just figuring out the variables. Like once you figure out the square footage and how many bathrooms, or the square footage and how many pets, and like you figure out your couple key variables, and everything kind of falls into place. But like you said, and I have found this with years of running home service businesses before I did bookkeeping, is like when you can figure out that like that thing that makes everything consistent, and like paper performance is a really big one. More and more people are switching to paper performance, and it's scary as hell to switch. But when like you kind of know that you need to do it, and I'm curious your experience with this change is like you see it coming, you're going to do it, and at some point you're like, the bigger we get, the worse this change is.
And that's what it is. It's like the bigger the ship gets, the harder it is to switch directions, and so we're like, it's time, like for sure.
Totally. Drew says, bring that management team down to Austin.
That's a good idea. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, especially with the whole A players. Like I loved at CleanCon. Shout out to like that concept of bringing your A players and having them in a table. I really liked that. So it definitely opened my eyes to like, yeah, this would be really cool to bring them for sure.
Hell yeah. Nicole's checking it. Nicole says,
hell yeah. That's my bestie that I'm going to Boston for. She's getting married this year.
You are at 30. I gotta go back down memory lane, because I'm like 40, tipping on 41 here. You're just in that phase of life where everybody's getting married. It's just what you're just like, it's hard to pick and choose which weddings you're going to go. Obviously, you're going to Nicole's, but it's like you get invited to 72 weddings a week, and you're like, oh, okay, how are we going to do that? How are we gonna
I know. I'm like, you guys are allotted one. You got at least for this year. So
yeah, you just get one wedding. You get one. I want no reports. I want to hear nothing about it. You got one. You get one.
Yes.
But it's wild. Those are fun times. Although, and I'm curious now, you're rolling up on 30. 20s are awesome. You just could do whatever the hell you want, and you've done a lot of cool shit. The 30s, do you feel like I suck at this, Stephanie. I gotta hit the live button. There's a window over here for Instagram. I gotta hit the live button for it.
Go do it.
I just did. I am you know how you send emails and you forget attachments half the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget to hit
So
that
embarrassing.
at least half the time. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, shit, sorry." Do you feel any at 30, do you feel any different about it? Like about going into
Mm.
your 30s, or do you just attack it the same as you attacked your 20s?
You know, it's interesting because my 20s were such like a wild ride of like the business, like, especially it just didn't feel, I guess, I don't know what normal is, but I don't think that that was a normal experience. So I think that going into 30, I just feel a lot more like sure of myself. And I think I was just always, I mean, I still have like a decent amount of self-doubt, of course, but I think I just know I feel much more myself of like I feel much more like just comfortable of just being myself now, especially, you know, podcasting, I think has really brought that out as well of like,
Oh yeah.
oh, when you're just like a goofy weirdo, people like, and that's who I am. It's like, just lean into who you are. And it also has just made me much more like, yeah, just comfortable with it's okay if people don't like you or you're not people's cup of tea. Like it's totally okay. So yeah, my 20s were pretty, like, I would say insane and transformative in a lot of ways, but I'm looking forward to it, especially just, you know, like I have my house and kind of just like settling in. But it's funny because I remember like thinking 30 was old, and now I'm just like, I feel like a baby. Like I feel literally like a little child who doesn't know what I'm doing. So
It is funny, like everybody younger than you is just a kid, and everybody
yeah,
older than you is like,
yes.
man, they're so old. Like, I wonder what that's like. And then like the older you get, that doesn't really change.
Oh,
I remember my dad like turning 60, and he's retiring, and he was, you know, doing I guess not the corporate world, but he was
yeah.
in manufacturing space. And he's like, I'm still the smart ass kid. Like, it's so weird. I'm the oldest one here, but I'm still the smart ass kid. And all these
Mm-hmm.
people report to me, but I'm just a smart ass kid.
Yeah.
Like, is how,
Yeah.
like, who decided that I would be in
Yeah.
charge here, right?
I know. And I
So,
feel that way because, yeah, my managers have, you know, are all older than me. They're almost like sisters and mothers to me at the same time. And they just balance me out so well because they are like, we're all very different. And, you know, as I say, like lovingly, like they piss in my Cheerios because as the owner and founder, like I'm very, I would say, risk taking and the creative type and just like, let's do this. Let's do this. Like, you know, the visionary is, as I hate that word, but it really is true of like, you kind of have to be like think big kind of thing. And but you need people to bring you down to earth and be like, actually, this is why that's not going to work. And we shouldn't do that and stop jumping around from thing to thing.
yeah,
So
let me slow you down for a second to work on
exactly.
20 ideas ago. We started
real.
working on this thing. And I think, Stephanie, it'd be great if we just get this one thing done
Oh,
first. Then we'll do
yeah.
some of your other crazy shit.
Oh, for real. And that's exactly what it is. But it's like you need people like that because otherwise you are literally not going to get anything done. I'm the queen of starting things because I get excited about it. And then I'm like, I lose enthusiasm or whatever. And so it's really good to have people that balance you out in that way. And but the nice thing is that I push them of like, no, we should take this opportunity because it's hard because some of our biggest like risks of opportunities, like for accounts, like our biggest commercial accounts, they were all oh shit moments of like, oh no, we got them. And for me, I'm very like, we can figure out anything. I'm just like absurdly confident in my ability to figure anything out because the proof's there. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know how to do this, but we're gonna figure it out. Where they're just like, oh no, yeah, exactly. Like it has always worked out, like historically. So why isn't this gonna work out? You know,
yeah, we will figure it out. If I know one thing about us is that we will figure it out.
Exactly.
I got a shout out, Molly Moran in the house. What happened, Molly? I wish I was wearing my Live Bright socks. I need my Live Bright socks on. Pat Clark, I'm gonna scold somebody in my personal chat. Pat Clark, I see you, man. You're in my personal chat, but this is a Facebook StreamYard thing. Pat, I can't put your stuff into the comment section. You got to go up in my personal chat and click on the pinned comment, which is like the link to the Best Damn Bookkeeping page. Put your stuff in there, and then I can put it on the screen, like this one from Nicole, who said, my favorite saying to justify this entire wedding planning process is, well, ideally once. That's a good sentiment. Hold on. This is my cheap ass Dan the finance guy approach. Was I was like, hey, this is only one day. Like, how much are we really going to spend on this thing? That's Dan the finance guy.
How did your wife handle that? Does she align with that?
She is also very frugal. We're just too frugal. Like, she's not a shopper. She's not a whatever. Like, it's pulling teeth to get either of us to spend money. I think we had a couple hundred people and we spent 10 grand. We got
wow.
we got like there was a bar that could hold a couple hundred people, and they were just opening like this basement area up as a wedding venue. So we got that for free with like $3,500 of food and drink. And I was like, my dad will drink $3,500 worth of Busch Lights if you let him. Right? Like I'm from Wisconsin. Let's be real here. So we got the venue for free. My buddy had a live band, and so that was like $600. We rented we did a BYOC ceremony.
Ooh.
Bring your own chair. I brought the beer. I brought the beer. We rolled up some beer coolers for the ceremony. Everybody just brought a folding chair. We got married by the Mississippi River in a park.
Oh.
And then to get people back to the hotel, school buses. We rented school buses. No brainer. You can shuttle a lot of people with a couple school buses. And like between the food and like we covered all the food, all the drinks. We did a taco bar. Who doesn't like tacos?
Yeah. Yeah.
Taco? Cinco de Mayo. It's Taco Tuesday on Cinco de Mayo.
That's kind of crazy. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I didn't even think of that. Well, honestly, Nicole, why just do what Dan did? Like that was the most I love all of that. That's very Wisconsin coded. I love to bring your own chair. Chair rentals are expensive. Like they really are.
We lucked out. It was like in July and it was like 75 and cloudy. It was beautiful. It wasn't 90 and like super scorching sun. There was some sun that popped through here and there, but you know, like I'm sitting there in a black suit and I'm a sweaty dude. And so it's like, if it was sunny and hot, it would have been brutal. We even got that little bit of rain, like just a little, where it's like, if you're out running, you're like, oh, this is like the best.
This is nice. Yeah.
Like that type of rain. It's like, oh, this is just gorgeous. I don't know. I can't I better not get divorced because we're never going to replicate that.
Yeah, it was a perfect day. It was a perfect day. You know, it's really funny, Dan, because I have an accent, but talking to you, my accent is coming out tenfold because I was just up in Wisconsin a couple weeks ago, and it's just being around that, it's instant. It just instantly comes out more, and I'm like, holy crap! Because being in the South, I would say it's neutralized a little. I definitely, obviously, don't have a Southern accent. I just started saying y'all. I was pretty resistant to saying y'all. I'm like, I feel like a poser. I shouldn't use that word. It's not for me. You guys, you know. But I started using it recently. I'm like, it feels nice. All right.
I like
it. Y'all. Feels right. Yeah, it's nice because collectively it is a good word. You know, y'all, everybody. But I'm definitely never gonna have a Southern accent. Obviously, anytime around a fellow Wisconsinite, it's instant.
It comes right back
out. Yep, exactly.
I don't notice it, right? Because I'm just, this is where I am. This is who I am.
Yeah.
I live in Minnesota now, but Minnesota's got it even worse.
Oh, yeah.
You get up by North Dakota, up by Fargo. So I don't even notice it until somebody like you is like, I left for a little bit and then I came back and I can tell that you got it. I'm like, hey, you know, just doing Wisconsin shit. What can I say?
Exactly. It's a friendly accent, honestly, because I waitressed for a long time. That was what paid for college. I waitressed for, I think, 7-8 years. And it's a friendly accent. I think it's a really good customer service because how can you be angry at that? How could anybody be angry at Dan with the way he talks? I mean, frankly.
Right? Yeah. Come on. Marty, you can't be mad at me. Marty's my wife, by the way. I was just making sure she was aware that you just can't be mad.
Got it.
David's checking in here. David says, Stephanie, picked your name from Alex Harmozy and found you here. That's wild. Look at this.
Whoa. Hey, David. Welcome. Cool to have you.
Welcome to the best damn bar.
Yeah.
Stephanie, I want to digress here for a second and go back. You started going back. You said you were bartending. How the hell did you get into home cleaning? Why home cleaning? Was it were you like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna scale this badass business? I'm gonna do it this way and I'm gonna move out? Or what? How did it happen? How the hell did you get here?
Yeah, so I graduated in 2014 from my local high school. I graduated with 44 people in my class, extremely rural. We're talking the smallest towns possible. I went to La Crosse for marketing, waitressing throughout.
Were you from the Driftless area in Wisconsin?
Yep.
Kind of that southwest?
Yep, Cooley region. So I went to Melrose, Maduro, which nobody's going to know what that is. So Black River Falls, La Crosse, Sparta, that western Wisconsin by the
hills.
Mississippi.
The best drive down 94.
It's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Place in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I definitely miss that when it comes to the landscape. It's so beautiful there.
Big bucks,
the winters.
Big bucks.
Yeah. Oh, Oh yeah. So I grew up on, speaking, hunting, like I grew up on 90 acres. Like I was a deer slayer for sure. So I don't hunt anymore, but I did grow up on that. So it was very, it was a beautiful place to grow up for sure. And so I got my associate's degree in marketing, and then I went and worked for my family's company for 3 years. And that was a manufacturing facility. And I was just their office manager. And so that's kind of where I learned like the back end, the bookkeeping, all the not sexy stuff about running a business, even though I wasn't running it, but I learned a lot of skills. So that in combination with my marketing degree and then waitressing with the customer service and really fast pace, I think that kind of skill stacking really aligned very well for opening a business. So that was not necessarily my intention. So what caused Serene Clean to come to be was I moved to Black River Falls, which was about a half hour away from where I had been waitressing. So I was always working 2 jobs. I was raised on Dave Ramsey and no debt, like no debt, no debt, no debt. So I graduated school with no debt. I was very frugal. I lived on my own from 18. So it was very, I would say financial literacy was definitely something that I was privileged to grow up with. And so I didn't, I just had a lot of skills related to that, though I felt broke, but I was always, on a budget and making sure that things were good in that manner. And so when I moved to Black River and I stopped waitressing, I was like, well, shit, I need more money because your family doesn't pay you shit. So don't work for family, guys. It's a bad idea. So I was making nothing. I'm like, I need to make more money. And I was like, I don't want to waitress anymore. I do like to clean, maybe I can do that. And so I posted up a poster in our local community center, like, hey, my name's Stephanie. Let me come into your house and clean. Crickets. Nobody answered, shockingly, right? And so I was like, well, maybe this isn't working. And I was kind of stumped. And very serendipitously, I saw this post online for Melissa Maker. You probably don't know her, but she's kind of like this big name in the cleaning industry. She owns a very successful cleaning business up in Toronto, Canada. And she has a very large platform called Clean My Space, where she teaches homeowners how to clean around their house. So it's for homeowners. And that's how I discovered her content was homeowners. And because I really like putting on a clean with me video and cleaning my house. Like I like the feeling of somebody is cleaning with me. I'm not alone. So that's how I discovered her. And so her content was not for business owners, but at the same time that I was having this idea, she posted a video basically calling out people of like, hey, I'm making a course on how to open a cleaning business. And it was called the Decision Makers course. And it was $2,000. And I was like, this is all it feels very aligned right now. So I did it and I was freaked out because that was so much money. And I was like, let me just do it. And it was an 8-week course. And so that was in February 2019. April 1st, 2019, I launched my business, and it was Black River Falls Cleaning Services, which hindsight being 2020, I would never name my company after the small town I was in, but I had no vision whatsoever of what it was going to be.
Yeah, just like I need a name, and here's where we are, and maybe Google will like that.
Yeah, and you know what? SEO really did like it. It was great for SEO. So I launched, and it was incredibly immediate. One of Melissa's tips, which is something that I definitely tell my listeners to do, is to do free cleanings in exchange for honest feedback online. So I did about 10 free cleanings. I reached out to, I guess, influencers in our small town, which were like the ladies, the moms, the stay-at-home moms, those type of people. I was like, let me clean your house. And if you leave me a Facebook review and just be honest, right? And give me that feedback if you're willing. And so I did that before I launched. So as soon as I announced it on Facebook, I had these reviews of these women who were well-known in the area. So I wish I, looking back, had, my Google set up and was getting reviews there. I think I did have my Google, but I wasn't focusing on Google reviews if I could redo it, I'd be like Google reviews. But yeah, exactly. And so between that and also I just had a sense of do it on video. So I made it if you scroll back to our first post, it's me getting on camera on a potato of a phone and just recording hey guys, I'm opening a cleaning business. And so I guess I just thought that would stand out in comparison to just a post. And so throughout the history of the business, video has been a huge part of it, of me hopping on and talking about why I care about this and why, what we do and just why this is important. And so that has done really well, and just highlighting things in that form. So it immediately started growing, and I was working full time still. So I had to clean nights and weekends. So every night, every weekend I was cleaning, I was running the business around it. And for at least a year, I was still working at my family's company.
What did you started in 2019? What did you do during COVID?
Yeah, it was crazy. COVID was insane.
That was a tough time to be in that phase of still new, but at that phase of you're in, you're starting to hit your, ramp up.
Yeah.
And then Oh, here we
It was
go.
crazy.
Are
was
we not?
literally,
Are we going? Are
yeah.
we not going? Can we go? Is it legal to go?
Yeah, it was a year in when COVID hit. Like literally, we just were hitting our year anniversary. And then this crazy situation happens where there is no guidelines. Like this has never happened before. So to know how to behave, especially like I was just shy of 23 when I opened. So I was pretty much like about to turn 24. I've got, at this time, I had, I think, 7 part-timers when COVID hit. And so it's like, okay, I've got these staff, like we're not allowed to go in houses. It was just so stressful because the unknown, right? But luckily I jumped very quickly at the PPP and it just applied for it, right? Even though at the time it wasn't a grant, but it was supposed to be an interest-free loan, which I was very hesitant to do, but I was like, let's just apply, see what happens. And
let's roll some dice. Let's roll some dice. We're doing business owner stuff now.
Exactly. And I'm like, who knows what's going to happen, right? And so we had to stop house cleaning for a month in May, I believe. But by June, that had opened up, at least in our area. And people were clamoring for cleanings because they were working from home and their kids were home. And the house was like so chaotic. They're like, please come clean our house. And so we did it as safely as we could. Commercial was booming. So I actually started business without any intention of doing commercial cleaning. But then the commercial, like we got this huge commercial client that reached out and was like, hey, like, would you do this? We found your website. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, so we did the walkthrough. It was a 100,000 square foot facility. I was just, bluffing my way through like, yeah, I've totally done this before. It's fine. And so I ended up getting that account because small town, and I was just, I overbid it like crazy, but then they were like, what would it be for the front offices? Could you at least do that? And so I got the front offices and it was hugely profitable. So that was allowed me to get a small office. And over time, over that year, I started getting more commercial accounts. And then once COVID hit, all of them were essential businesses. And they're like, we got to stay open. They literally doubled their cleaning needs. They had us coming twice a day. It was crazy. So yeah, COVID was excellent for us. Although a lot of bullshit with staff, a lot of, wouldn't it be nice if we were laid off right now? A lot of COVID fraud of people faking things. And so it was like unprecedented times. Yeah.
To like deal with that after a year of business and be like, oh, I guess this is just what we do. We just make it up and then like we're just like dealing with punches to the face left and right.
That was literally it. And so because I was able to cover payroll, I really didn't like the idea of people like not working and paying, especially because we could be alone, like in spaces. We could be safe, we could distance, like we could have that stipulations in place. So what I did was all of our local businesses were shut down. So I reached out to all of them, all the local churches in town, and said, hey, I got this PPP. I want to really pay it forward. Like, let us come in and deep clean your business for free so that when you do open up, it's been fully sanitized. It's ready for your patrons or guests. And so we did that, and we cleaned a bunch of local businesses for free. And that like impact in a small town, I cannot tell you that. I mean, I can't even describe I don't know the effect because you can't that goodwill. It's hard to measure, but let me tell you, like that really cemented in just kind of the path when it comes to marketing, and our brand of Serene Clean is so community focused. And so from day one, I started doing, obviously cleaning for a reason, but then we started doing a local nonprofit that an employee would take a turn each month of choosing. So every single month for 7 years, an employee has been like, we've told them, hey, it's your turn, choose a local nonprofit. We're going to donate it like because of you. And so we've kept that up and just made giving such a huge part of our brand of like, this is what we do. We give, we love our community. And it just, I think it works really well in all community sizes, but especially in small towns, it's like people want to work with people who give a shit,
especially like locally give a shit. It means something different.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So COVID was actually fabulous for us. I mean, and I know like that's I'm very blessed for that because a lot of businesses went under because of that. Yeah. So I'm very grateful that we were able to make it through and learned a ton for sure.
At what point were you like, hey, I'm thinking about leaving Wisconsin and I'm going to see if I can run a business from anywhere in the world? Because that, like, I tried to do that at one point in time. We had businesses in Minneapolis here, but we were in Ohio and we were in Missouri and we were down in Florida and out in Oregon. And I struggled with it personally. Like, it was really hard for me to run. And we had 100 employees all around the country. Wow. And it was like total chaos. At what point were you like, I'm going to go try to do this remote thing? And how the hell did that go?
Yeah, so I
I mean,
kind of had
obviously it
it.
went okay enough because you're
It's
still doing
cool.
it, so it must have
Yeah,
been okay enough. But like, take us through like that, the
the process.
mental gymnastics of
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, so I pretty much almost did a test run of this unintentionally, and that's what told me that this is possible. So going into our third year of business, so COVID happened, 2020 happened, and then the summer of 2021, right? Things are cruising, we're going good. I have several managers in place already, right? And they all started as part-time cleaners, and they all just were clearly like, hey, these are people that would be very good. And
Yeah.
yep, exactly. And so those are, still my managers today. They're just wonderful, but they all started as cleaners. And so August 2021, I got a call that said, hey, we have some work out at Fort McCoy, which is our local military base in Sparta, Wisconsin. And can you come out and look at it? And I'm like, sure, let me go look at this. Like, cool. What a cool opportunity. Because I did not watch the news. I was too busy. And I also just, I was raised in a household where like news was on at all times. And I'm triggered. I don't watch news.
Have you ever seen the Shane Gillis bit about a Fox News dad? Have you seen
That's
that?
my dad. Well, I was raised by
Yeah.
Doomsday Preppers and Fox News dad. So
yep. I got the Fox News dad. And when Shane Gillis does a stand up on it, I'm just like, this is my dad. He just watches news until he gets so mad that he turns the TV off.
So enraged. So it's like shouting at the TV. So it's almost like I have like news trauma where I'm like, I can't watch it because it just brings up all of this shit.
Yeah, I'm not watching that. I don't want that mood. I don't want that mood.
No. And so what that meant was I did not realize that Afghan refugees were being brought over to America to be placed at local military bases around the United States. And so Fort McCoy was about to receive 15,000 Afghanistan refugees,
they
need cleaning. And so I go out there and they're like, yep, this is the barracks. And they were just being real shifty about like what was the expectations and like I was trying to like understand, but I had no idea. And so they were like, the first time I went out there, they said it's going to be 80 buildings. And I'm like, whew. Okay, I think we can handle this. Like, because at this point, I already had 30 staff members on Serene Clean side, ish. And so I was like, I think we can absorb that. I think it'll be okay. And then the next day they call and they're like, actually, it's going to be 200 buildings. And I was like, I can't handle that, but I can certainly be one of the people that handle it, because I have my normal business that has to run. And then they called back and they're like, JK, it's actually 312 buildings twice a day. And I'm like, holy shit. Twice a day. Yeah, it was crazy because they were barracks. They had to be cleaned twice a day. And so all of these barracks had 50 people that lived in them. And they were there. Shit. Yeah, it was, holy shit indeed. Wait till you hear these stories. And so so I was like, okay, so I dropped everything and I was like, I'm going to be at Fort McCoy every day for the foreseeable future because we had no idea how long they would be here or what. There was just no clear details about anything. But so I was out there and I was
How did you price that? Was that just pure hourly at the time?
So they were really pushing for flat rate, and I'm so glad I did hourly because the scope of work just blew up. And so I'm like, I went hourly, and it was the best decision ever because otherwise I would have totally been taken advantage of for sure. So went hourly because it just kept growing and growing and growing because I was literally cleaning these barracks. These people were coming in by the thousands every day. And I was running in between buildings. I lost like 10 pounds in a month because I was just like cleaning these buildings. And so I started.
Cleaning is a great workout. You don't need.
It's a great workout.
When you're out cleaning, you don't need one.
It was crazy, and so I started hiring. And it was tough because on any type of military base, they can't have felonies. They there's background checks that need to happen. So that was the tough part. But we were just hiring in droves. We had this whole like system of just group interviewing all the time and just hire, figure it out later. And so the turnover was insane because of the work. And so I was one of the independent contractors that this contracting company used. And I was like the local one. And so I started to kind of stabilize.
They got other vendors like from other places in Wisconsin?
Yeah, no, the other big one was from Indianapolis. So they brought in, it was, or Indy, somewhere in Indy. And so that was kind of crazy. So we were one of two subcontractors, and then they hired people directly locally as well. So it was just like the management of people. So at the height of it, it took 110 janitors a day to get the job done. It was insane. So managing the people was crazy. And then managing the like military's ever changing expectations were insane, because literally those first couple months, it was make sure there's not shit on the floor. Like that's the standard, like literally like
here's the squeegee.
Yeah. You're kidding. I'm not. We had squeegees and we just squeegeed everything down the drains because, you know, and I'm certainly not being offensive. This is literally the facts of the situation. Different cultures, they did not use toilets. And so it was just totally culture shock, right? And obviously the language barrier was huge. It was, I would say 60% women and children. And these people were completely, I mean, they were getting shot at as they were hopping on planes. It was crazy. So it was pretty wild like that. And then the other part that was insane was they didn't have vaccinations for anything. So it wasn't just COVID that was a problem. That was the least of our worries. It was tuberculosis, it was scabies, it was chicken pox. And because they were shoving all these people together, obviously, in like a small city, basically, disease was rampant. So to clean, we had to fully Tyvek soup up and then change in between diseases. And so my favorite story is like, I had the chicken pox house. And so it was all these kids. I had chicken pox and I'm in this big like Michelin Man marshmallow thing. And I'm like, I'm going to teach these kids how to use the bathroom. Like, and so I'm like miming in my suit, like how to use the toilet. And they're all looking at me like, this lady's crazy. We're not going to like do what she's saying.
This marshmallow lady, look at how crazy this lady is. She thinks we're going to be in the toilet.
You think we're going to go with that? Like, no, thank you. I will keep going in the shower. So it was just such a culture shock. And like, it was just, you just had to fully accept exactly what was in front of you and just deal with it. Right. And so putting cleaners in that situation, even if you paid them high, that's tough. Right. And it was just hard work.
Sign up for that.
It was very hard work. And just, it was just from all angles, it was insane. It was literally insane. And there was no telling of when it was going to get done because they were basically processing everybody with paperwork, getting them vaccinations. And you just didn't know. It was like, this job could be done tomorrow. It could go on for the next year. And so there was that aspect as well. So when it comes to that comment is really funny. I was pooping on the floor.
My buddy Mitch from Car Wash Bro says in all caps, and I can picture Mitch saying this, but I think he would have pardon my French. I think before he said this, he was probably like, "Motherfucker, who's shitting on the floor again?" Missed that part. Like I think the first one was out of curiosity, and then he's out of frustration. In all seriousness, who's pooping on the floor? I just joined. It's awkward.
Afghan refugees were pooping on the floor in the military barracks that I got the independent contract to clean around said people. And the thing is, like, they were living in there. So there was just a lot of, just issues, you know what I mean? Like, of people who have never been to America. Like, it was crazy. It was wild. And so to like deal with that, manage the cleaners. And then at the same time, Serene Clean is running. Right. So like 30 staff members are running. My HR manager is out on maternity leave. So my other two managers are like managing it all. So it was just like, I look back at that. I was like, that wasn't real. I don't think that was real. I mean, it was 10-hour days, 7 days a week for 6 months. And that's what my life was. And so it was just this kind of insane once in a lifetime job where it's just like, this is never going to happen again. You know what I mean? Of like, so just make the money, make that fucking money. And so that's exactly what I did. I made that money. And it was over $1 million that we ended up pulling in from that job, which was like shocking when we got the workers' comp bill, because workers' comp is based on payroll. So
it's like, what's our true up? Oh, our true up is how many tens of thousands of dollars? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And then I've never had so many workers' comp workers' comp claims, because people were getting hurt there. And I like more so than anything, for example, like I had several cleaners who, they'd be pulling hair out of the drains, and there'd be razor blades in the drains, and they'd slice their hands open. And then I have to, do obviously bloodborne pathogen testing and all that stuff. So it was, it's kind of crazy, like, because I haven't talked about this in a while. I'm just like, oh yeah, that did happen. So by year 3, we were at 1.5 million because of that. And so it was insane. And so once that ended, it was like, oh shit, Serene Clean did great. And the whole goal with Serene Clean was don't collapse. Like this is the test. Like, but I was still there to like, if necessary, of like, if I had to do something. But it really showed that like our processes were sound, our management could handle things in the day-to-day. And really the goal was with that of like, Stephanie shouldn't be responding to text because I simply couldn't, right? I was dealing with all this other stuff. So the day-to-day communication between techs and clients, like that no longer could be done by me. And that was the biggest thing. And so once the job
solved the communication aspect.
Yeah. And once the job ended and we kind of like just fixed the problems as they came up, it was like, oh crap, like that went really well. And especially down a manager too. So it really showed us of like, this is possible. And so then I started traveling more and kind of like testing of like, what happens if I leave for this long and stuff like that. And so, all of that to be said, I moved to here in December of that following year. And so I've been remote ownership for 3.5 years now. So, yeah, and I just go back every maybe about three times a year. And it's, it definitely was an adjustment for, especially my techs that started with me very like early on in the business and they cleaned next to me. They were just like, what is happening? Like that cultural.
Where did my Stephanie go?
Exactly. And so that was hard on some, but honestly, what I did, I literally moved and then I went back for the Christmas party and been like, hey guys, I've been moved for a month and none of you knew. So clearly like, this is like fine. And so learning how to keep culture very, very strong remotely was one of the biggest like focuses of like, how do I make them feel seen and heard and connected to me without me physically being there. And so I feel like we've really nailed that when it comes to that. And so honestly, it's gone really well. I've only had to go back last August. I had to go back and actually clean because things were just like, the sky was falling with turnover and just crazy employee situations where we had to fire people who I never thought I'd have to fire. And so I'm like, I'm going back, throw me in, coach. Like, and so I just went back and cleaned, but that's the only time that I've had to do that. And I'm absolutely willing to do that. Like I will buy a plane ticket tomorrow if I need to, but the goal is to not have to need to do that. Right.
Yep. It is interesting. When I had all my cleaning companies around the country, it was like, man, it was working so well until all of a sudden wasn't. And it was hard to predict when it was going to go. It was always a people thing. And usually it was one person caused some chaos and that caused 2 or 3 other people to quit. One person would quit because of that person. 2 other people would quit with that person. And then I'd be like, wait, we went from 20 to 15 people all of a sudden. And how many clients can we not clean tomorrow? And we have 2 people starting this week in training. Why don't we have 20 people on our bench? Why do we only have 5 people on our bench? Well, like shit, we got complacent, right? We thought we were fine. And then all of a sudden, just like, oh, we found out this employee was stealing. And now everybody drop everything and put fires out. It is crazy how fast it can go. It makes you like look over your shoulder a little bit like, wait, no. It's like,
we literally, so that was how last year was. We call it like nom almost of like when I get flashbacks from 2025. It was that like, what the fuck of what is going on. But I'm honestly really grateful that all of that happened because it forced me to wake up and be like, okay, Stephanie, you need to be looking at this more closely. And also it made us fix a lot of things that needed to be fixed. But also, some of those things there's nothing you could have done differently. Like I totally stand by some of the turnover that we had of like, I had a 4-year staff member who we got caught stealing on camera in a church, right? And here she is lying to me. I mean, we had our cookouts at her house.
God. Our company pool parties. Like melt.
No, it was literally. I remember the news, and I was just like, I just started crying because I'm like, this is my friend, And so just learning those things and having to do what you have to do as the owner of like, all right, you're forcing me now to be a boss, and I don't like it, but I'm going to do it because. And then sharing it with the team of like, hey, this is why this person's no longer with us. And my other cleaners, like I had cleaners literally start crying, not because they were upset we fired, but that, like you said, like taking care of the team, the betrayal of the team. And so you have to be ruthless when it comes to like the one of our core values is integrity. And so it's like, if we don't cut this now, close the damn doors. What's the point of being open? But it doesn't mean it doesn't suck because that's a full-time staff member that you have no way to replace. But you got to do it. You just got to do it,
Yep. It is like challenging. And it comes up with, it's so inopportune. And I've had the same thing happen where like in our Cleveland location back in the day, like our best employee who had been with us forever and was our manager and like made that operation just run, all of a sudden just kind of started slipping, and we like saw the data and we saw it happening and we are like, what's going on? And like, there was always a reason. And then she was stealing booze from clients' houses. And we're like,
Oh
what's
my
going on? And
gosh.
it turned out she like started dating an old boyfriend and she got hooked on heroin.
Yep.
Like
Mm-hmm.
went from being the hardest working son of a gun, like
Yeah.
relentless, hardest driver, like just kicking ass, taking names, making big paychecks. Because we were like commission
Yep.
style pay. She
Mm-hmm.
crushed it. And then just like, you got hooked on heroin? Like,
Yeah.
what happened? Well, you
I
were
know.
so consistent and reliable and like crushing it. How did this happen to you? Like, what
Mm-hmm.
in the world?
Well,
And
and it just, yeah, it can happen to anybody. Like literally. And honestly, you hope that they get on meth because at least they're faster. Heroin, they're just gonna sleep. Like
yeah, that was it. That was it. We should have transitioned her to meth. You're right. You're right.
I kid, but I have had cleaners that we've discovered that is the case, and they just act very erratic and bizarre. One like left a cleaning in the middle of it to go chop firewood for the client. Like that was not a thing that should have been happening. And I'm like, I think there's something going on with him.
Yeah. So we're chopping firewood. We're a cleaning company. We don't clean up the outside so much. That's a different business model.
No.
David's got one for you here. He says, do you have mentors and advisors that have guided you over the years? You mentioned this a little bit earlier, but let's go back to it because you said like early on you had a coach for a couple of years, and now you're I don't know if you're working with Molly consistently, but you had a call with Molly. How has that like framed up the ebbs and flows and decision making for your progression in your business?
Yeah, obviously coaching early on was very useful. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that coach anymore. I just didn't really agree with like some of their ethics about how they went about certain things, I would say. So that was one of the reasons I parted ways.
That is a tricky thing when like integrity is a core value and you feel like you're in a conflict. Even with like I fired a client today.
Yep.
And it was that. It
was
just like,
juicy.
Yeah, it's just an integrity thing, right? And it's like they're not a bad person. They're just not a good fit for us.
It's not an alignment.
Make them bad, and that doesn't make us bad. It's just like there's a point where you make enough money where you're like, yeah, I'm just not. I don't care about your money. Yeah,
exactly. No, 100%. And so then after that, it's been honestly just like insane amounts of consuming YouTube and books, books, podcasts, and just constantly exposing myself to new ideas. And so kind of building on that really good structural foundation, but then just, new things. And also even just like Facebook groups, like the Zen Maid Mastermind, of like being exposed to other ideas and how people are doing and posting in those types of communities. And then, like reaching out to Molly after CleanCon of like, okay, this lady, I had her on Filthy Rich Cleaners and I was like, oh my gosh, this woman knows what the hell she's doing. Right. And I just love her energy. And so it was very like, okay, I think this is the right thing to do because we are paralyzed right now to make this decision, even though we know we need to, we just don't know the how. How do you do this,
like
right?
What order do we do the things in? What's the mechanism?
Yeah. And so that was kind of what we needed the clarity on. And then obviously just, with the Hermosis, like consuming all their content. And honestly, I was, I ordered the books and I was like, you know what, like, if it's a waste of money, I guess I'll find out, but I just kind of have to know. And so that was kind of the catalyst for that. And so honestly, it's just been a lot of like, I listen or read to a lot of books. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I'm like, YouTube is my, like, I don't turn my TV on. YouTube is like my TV, if you will. So it's just the nice thing about the day and age that we live in. It's like, we have the path to be successful in literally anything is freely out there. Like we just have to consume it and then be discerning, because obviously everybody's got a voice and it's hard to know who to listen to sometimes because they're telling you exactly opposite stuff, like completely opposite stuff.
It's crazy how much nonsense is out there. It is, but like you can smell bullshit. Once you've like smelled it enough, you know what you're smelling. Which leads me to another question. When you look back at 7 years, what's the number one thing you look back at and you're like, that was monumental fuck up. I can't believe we did that. What's the number one thing you look back at where you're like, that was it? Like if I see an inflection point that led us to where we went, this was a tipping point and it could have gone the wrong way, but I look at it and I'm like, man, we made the right decision on that one.
Yeah, there's probably several. Obviously just keeping people longer than we should and being like more, always. It's just like they should have been gone. I had a couple people in management roles that didn't belong there, but because I liked them personally, it's very tough, like especially with your managers and kind of leadership teams, that's very difficult to make that decision. And we just waited and waited and waited because we're like, we don't, like I like you and I care about you as a person, but you are not You're not doing what
really
you need.
for this
Yeah,
type of role.
you're not doing what you need to do. And even cleaners, just in general, of like being way too forgiving. And I would say in that first year or two of business, I mean, I was such a pushover people pleaser. I wanted my cleaners to like me, and as opposed to focusing on them, I would say respecting me. I had let a cleaner live with me in my 2-bedroom apartment, and her Chihuahua. Speaking of shit, this is a shit episode, guys. That Chihuahua shit all over my apartment, and I still let her live with me. And then she ghosted me. Like I just had zero boundaries. And though that served me well when it came to like job opportunities, of like, I was a yes man. I was like, hell yeah, we'll do that. Hell yeah, we'll pant those apartments. Hell yeah, we'll do whatever. I'll figure it out. So like that same trait of that has led me well in the beginning, it's not good anymore. And so for me, being able to put boundaries in place, and that could be, like I said, putting people in place who can say no for me, because it's the joke around the office. Stephanie has not talked to a customer in years because I can't talk to customers because we will be doing ridiculous shit for them.
Yeah,
because
we're
I
gonna be
can't
cleaning the garage and
No,
cutting the
for
fireworks
real.
at the end of
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
that's exactly what it is. And so it's literally like I'm not allowed to talk to customers. Like that's said in my company. So it's because of that.
Core
So
value. It's core value.
Yes, exactly. So just like people, I would say decisions around people were the big ones. I was divorced early on in the business. And so that was a huge huge learning lesson of like, should have had a prenup, because that almost destroyed the business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was so just, I would say that was the biggest financial obstacle that I've ever faced when it comes to the business. And just, it's tough when you're going through that of just, staying on course and doing what you need to do. So I think those were the things that really came to mind. I also introduced carpet cleaning when I should not have done that. I should not have introduced that at all. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and I shouldn't have done that.
Just shiny object. Like, oh, we're cleaning this. Let's clean that.
Yep. Exactly. And I had people in my ear that were like, oh, you should do this. Look at people are asking for it. So that means you should.
Yeah, look
do
how
it.
much
And
money
it's like,
you could make if you did it.
Exactly. But I was not trained properly. We did not have proper equipment. And I cut it off because it was that icky feeling of, I'm like, the customers are happy with how we're doing this. I'm not happy with this. And my gut is screaming, like, we're not doing right by the customers. And I can't. So I was like, we're stopping this. I can't deal with this. And we sold off all the equipment. I was like, maybe someday, but today's not that day for sure.
It's a wildly different business. And I ran it because we had window cleaning, pressure washing, gutter cleaning, holidays. Like we had the exterior cleaning business. We added maid service to it. Maid service was secondary to us because we were like, we have a seasonal issue. We have a seasonal cash flow issue. Let's go on the inside and clean houses. In our minds, we were like, we have so many window cleaning clients we can sell maid service to. That's a different human. Like
totally different.
Same client. It's not the same relationship. It's not the same transaction. It was the worst move we ever made. And then we went and bought businesses all around the country, which was also like all over the country. So it was like, man, and not that I regret it. It made me great as a bookkeeper because I like understand multi-divisional things and whatever else. I don't regret it, but I'll definitely never do it again.
Yeah, I love that you bring that up of just like, you think diversifying services is a good idea. And the thing is, you see examples of people who are doing it well. So you think that you can do it well, but it's the whole survivorship bias of like, they're the ones who did it well. Very few people actually do it.
Yeah.
So it's not something like we will not like, this is what we do. And this is for the foreseeable, like many years from here. This is what we're going to do. It will take a lot from it's, the Hormozy thing of like, why can't you just do more of what's working? Why introduce another thing? And so I really try to listen to that now.
Yeah. I have two thoughts. One is I'm glad I'm not the only one that had a cleaner come live with me, because we started maid service in Minneapolis. Like we had employees all around the country, but we had acquired all of those businesses. And so we were like, well, I will start one from the ground up. So I left my corporate gig making 3 times as much money as I made when I, started working in our small home service businesses. And we had 6 locations, and I was going to start maid service from zero. Well, I had 100 people reporting to me. It was the stupidest fucking thing I've ever done. But, so like I'm lead cleaner number 1, right? So I got to go start growing the thing. And one of my cleaners was like in a relationship that wasn't going well and was like homeless. And I was like, well, guess you're living in my basement. And we got like Marty and I just had our first kiddo. And so it's like, we got a stranger
around your child. Yeah.
She was fine. Everything was fine. We're all still alive. And like, in a way, like we got her back on her feet. She didn't work for us for that long, but like, it was a great role we could play in her story. Right. And she needed help, but I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I can't believe my wife put up with that shit. Like,
Yeah.
what was she already knew she was screwed when she married me. Like, she's just a redneck small business owner. Although
Yeah.
I did dupe her. Here's how I duped her. She knew when she married me that I was going to be hunting and fishing all the time. Like, so you're going through this now. We started dating in our late 20s, and I told her, I was like, I am not going to weddings. I will not go to a wedding. If I'm in it or you're in it, yeah. Like,
okay. Yep.
But if we weren't invited to a wedding, hell no, because it is hunting or fishing season. I'm not going. Like, have fun. Let me know how it was, but I'm probably going to be hunting or fishing. And if I'm not, maybe I'll consider coming. But that was like a boundary we had to set. Boundary we had to set really early on. So she knew she was stuck with just a total redneck beer drinking outdoorsy dude. There's perks, full freezer, good meals. I love to cook, so she got some benefits.
Some back straps and butter. Could you think of anything better? Oh my gosh!
Right, like I'll take a wedding with some back straps. I'm making some this weekend. We got the potatoes, the asparagus, whatever you need. But where I duped her was she thought she married a guy making hundreds of thousands of dollars in the corporate world. And then I left and started making like no money doing small business stuff until I grew it. But man, like, somebody living in your house, like, you talk about boundaries. What a weird thing, but you just do whatever it takes, right? Because you can't see past the next week. You're like, well, we got this work on the schedule and I don't have anybody else lined up, and you need a place to stay. I got a couch. I got a bed.
I know.
Like, and solving problems like that.
Well, and that's the hard part, is because our job is to be problem solvers. So it's very hard to not interfere when you see somebody messing up their life. And like, I could solve this. And even things with like, that's why from early on of having the policy of like no cash advances, no paycheck advances at all.
Yeah, not
I can't. Yep. And that's what it is. And how many still came to me and being like, because they know I could, and I know I could, but it doesn't mean I should, because it's like, once you do it for one, we have to do it for all. And I can't tell you how many times that sentence has been said at Serene Clean, because one of the cleaners will come to us, or we have a situation happen. And we're like, well, we should, we could help them. We could help them. We know that we could do this. And then Crystal, especially my HR manager, she's like, if we do it for that one, we have to do it for all. Otherwise so it's like, if we're not willing to do it for everybody, then no, we cannot do this. And we're not a bank. And it's tough, because sometimes as owners, it's really, I always find it very interesting of like, once, you open a business and everybody around you is like, heck yeah, for the most part, everybody's around you like, good for you. Like, that's awesome that you're doing this little thing that you're doing. But as soon as it starts to get traction, all of a sudden, like, it turns into like, oh, you're an asshole because you make money and you've been successful of any sort. Right. And so I find that, especially with employees, like, some of them will have that attitude of like, oh, I know I get paid this much and I know they charge this much, so that must be, Stephanie puts everything in her pocket.
Stephanie's making $10 million a year, according to my math.
Exactly.
So David's asking some really good questions here, and I'm trying to like fit him into like when we're talking about things. He said, has anyone left your company to start theirs? And that is the catalyst that I see, is people don't understand how much it costs to grow a business and even like keep a business alive. Have you had that happen where somebody left to compete with you?
Oh yeah. I believe I have inspired 5 former employees, I like to think of it that way, to at least 5 that I know of, to start their own cleaning businesses. And so, it's happened many times. And honestly, I just have the attitude of like, great, best of luck. I'm looking forward to realizing how it really is, because there's 2 options. They are solo cleaner and they can fill up with 15 to 20 clients, and they're full. They're happy. That's cool. That's fine. Good for them. Honestly, they're going to make more money, obviously, doing it that way, but they're going to learn what it is like to have to communicate with the clients and stuff. Cool. Good for them. The clients are oftentimes going to come back to us if they did leave with that cleaner, because they're going to realize, oh, when there's only one of them and that one person is not available.
Yeah, isn't reliable consistently.
Your cleaner doesn't show up. Exactly. So all of a sudden they're like, oh, that was kind of nice having a company. So that's option number 1. Option number 2 is they hire their buddy, their best friend, and then they're like, oh, great, now we can take on more. They start to hire, and it falls apart. And that's historically what's happened. And so the way I see it is like, I stay in my own lane. That's great. And because it's like, if you have that thought process of like, I am training potentially my future competition, I'm teaching them exactly how to do it. But and this is going to sound cocky, they still aren't going to be able to do what we've done. They're not going to be able to do it because they may be really great kick-ass cleaners. Most likely, most small businesses fail or simply cannot get past 1 to 2 people, right? Because once you add like cleaners, it's just insane. It's insane to manage that. So yeah, exactly. And so once the law changed, I believe last year, I think, where it's like you can't have non-competes, like that's not enforceable. So that it already wasn't necessarily enforceable. So
you weren't going to do anything about it anyway.
They're not going to sue those people. If they want to go clean, it's fine. And the way I see it is like, yeah, maybe, they even use our checklist. They use everything. They try to replicate exactly what we've done. So the way I see it is if this business is a marathon, like running business is a marathon, I want to always be at mile like 25 when they're at mile 1. And I just want to keep like staying ahead of them. So it's like, I see it as it could happen. It has happened, but the way I see it is just do what I can to make everything else about the experience for the customer so obvious that we're the choice, that it makes way more sense to go with us than an individual cleaner, even if they're going to be cheaper. They're always going to be cheaper, of course, but you're paying for so many things. So it's like, I try not to, even with competition, obviously I pay attention to that and keep an eye on it, but it's more so of like, what can we do so well that we are the obvious choice, and kind of just like focus on my own, like, what can I can't control them, but I can certainly control like what we're doing and being excellent. So, it's probably going to happen again. Okay, cool. Like, I'm just very blasé about it. Yeah. And yeah, with the clients, obviously we do have a fee for the clients. If we know the clients are trying to solicit, in our client agreement, it's like, yeah, that's a $2,000 training fee. So don't, and luckily every time that I'm aware of that it's happened, our cleaner has come to us and said, hey, Mrs. Smith tried to hire me on the side. And so then we caught the client. We're like, nope, we caught him because you're clearly not trustworthy and you're not agreeing to the rules that are in the game that we're playing here together.
I haven't enforced it with my client at all, but I did, like, we have 25 people on our bookkeeping team, and like this is my second bookkeeping business. I had a partnership, didn't go well, restarted, and I didn't have a non-solicitation right away. And I have found whether it's my employee or my competitors, I'm very inclined to like teach them how to do a better job, because eventually they're probably going to buy me out, or I'm going to buy them out. And if I buy them out, I don't want their business to suck. Andy, who was a competitor of mine in our window cleaning business forever, he and I would I will never forget this. There was a day we had 3 pressure washers go down in Minneapolis, and we were like, oh shit, we have 4 pressure washers. 3 of them all shit the bed on the same day. We have a huge like townhome association to wash. And I was like, Andy, do you guys have any capacity to help us? And he's like, I'm out of town. Here's the code to my garage. Go get my stuff. Do whatever you got to do. And I was like, I will compensate you, whatever. He's like, don't worry about it, man. Go crush it. Like, you guys got it. Andy and I became business partners. Now he owns all of that business, and it's a $2 million exterior, $2.5 million exterior cleaning company. And like, now I'm his CFO. And we meet, and I meet tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. every Wednesday, 6:30 a.m.
Holy crap. That's incredible. Shout out to Andy. Oh my gosh.
So like, I have just always found like, it's okay if they leave. It's okay if they're your competition. It's better to like help them. Good competitors are great. Shitty competitors suck. They undercut everything. Andy charges the right amount. We actually like helped him pay, like charge. He charged well, but he like wasn't super efficient in the field. So we helped him switch to a pay per performance, a fixed price model. And so we helped him become more profitable, which in a funny way, we were trying to buy his business like 2 years before we actually merged with them, because he was a little upside down. And he was kind of struggling, figuring things out. And we taught him the model. And then he's like, well, I don't know if I really want to sell now. Like, now I'm making money.
I like this. Yeah.
And so we were like, and a couple of my partners were really frustrated with that. And I was like, it's fine. It's Andy. He's a good dude. Like, what's wrong with Andy making some money? We like Andy. And like, he helps us and we help him. If he has extra capacity, or if we have extra capacity, we can help each other. If he has leads that he can't get to, he sends them to us. And they're not like the ones he doesn't want. They're ones he like literally believes he can't serve. Like, he's a good dude. He's not he's not being a shyster. And so like, it totally worked out in the end. And so I like drew up a non-solicitation for this business in a like an NDA sort of situation. And it's really clear, like, if you leave and steal a client, I know how much a client is worth. You can't afford to buy them from me.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
the amount of money I spend to go to trade shows, to do podcasting, to do all this stuff, like employees don't always understand the cost of everything we do to like grow our brand and grow our business. And so there's a cost to that. And similarly, there's a cost if they take an employee with, because they don't understand. Mathematically, I figured I spend about $15,000 to get and train a bookkeeping employee. So if you want to leave and bring an employee with, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's in the agreement. You owe me 15 grand because like that's probably under, that's not as much.
Yeah, probably under. Oh, for sure. When you think of payroll and everything. Yeah.
And so I put that into our agreement because it's so important. Like, it's not, I don't give a fuck about the money. It's because it's not fair to all their coworkers if they leave and start stealing shit from our business. That is what, and I try to tell small business owners this all the time when I'm working on their business books and like playing CFO for them, is like, you might not want the growth. You might be like, hey, I'm comfortable here. I like running the business here. But guess what? Your employees don't want the job that they have making the same money that they make right now for the rest of their lives. They're going to leave. Your responsibility is to grow your business, because if you don't, they're going to leave.
Yep.
Nobody wants to be a part of something that's just sitting there. Like, there's nothing cool about that. They want opportunity. They want the chance to make more money. They want the chance to do something hard and something cool. If they don't, they shouldn't be on your team. Why would you attract people that don't want to do cool shit? But B, once they are on your team, the onus isn't like you need to grow because you need more money. The onus is you need to grow because they need more money. They need to do. It's like somebody's got to get out of the way and grow the thing. So if somebody's going to steal from that and like fuck over all their coworkers, they better pay for it. They got
No, it's so true. And I'm really glad that you brought up of like, I think a lot of people have a lot of money hangups with how they were raised, or just how society sees making money or owning a business, and like being portrayed that business is always bad. Like, it really is always portrayed as this negative thing where it's like small businesses are like the lifeblood of communities. And it is our job to be as successful as possible so that we can benefit our communities. We can, like, it's simply a lever. Money's a lever, right? And it's a tool that we can pull. And so the more we have, the more we can do, the more we can give, the bigger impact. That's how I see it. And so like when I look at, our staff and the money of it all, like, I don't necessarily share like our straight up revenue. Obviously they could watch the podcast and like, it's not hidden, but they don't really do that. I mean, a couple of them do, so they know. But the way I see it is like, I share certain metrics and always tie it back to like why we want to do excellent work. Because as soon as we add another benefit, right? Like, we're really big on just adding like benefits, because that's not very common in cleaning businesses, is they don't typically give them a lot of benefits. And so it's like, how can we make this enticing as a place to stay and also reward them? So every time the business is leveled up, we've introduced new benefits. And it's always tying it back to like, the reason this exists is because we do high quality work. We've got a great reputation and we charge high, because otherwise we can't afford to pay the way we pay and to give the things that we give. And so I think anytime we can like pull back and call back to why being the best, like, we got to be the best in order to give you guys these things. And then it just inspires them, I hope, to be like, oh yeah, like, I'm part of this. The reason we're able to do this is because of my work, and tie their work to meaning,
Yep. I do. And I've debated this for a long time. Maybe I'll change this, but I show our entire team, our entire P&L. Top to bottom. I view mine a little bit differently because everybody that works for me is an accountant, and so
you're bookkeepers. Exactly.
They better understand how this works. And if they don't understand why we need to be profitable, then they really shouldn't be looking at any of our clients' books. Like, they can't be trusted to do their job. So I show them, but I do think there is a goofy animosity that some people have when they see other people making money. They're not excited for them. They're not excited to be a part of it. They're like, why do they get to make that? They don't care about the couple of years where you didn't make any money. And like next month, I'm probably going to put 15 grand into our business. It's like we're getting through trade shows. We have 26 people on our wait list right now to just like get bookkeeping done for them. The amount of training happening right now, and it takes 3 to 6 months to get somebody on our team, like with a full schedule and trained up the way we need them to get trained up. It's like, you guys need to see how much this thing costs to like move this needle. And the bigger the more it costs. Like, yes, it can make a ton of money too, but we all want, like, we're planning on doing exactly what you did with all of our US team, getting everybody together. It's probably going to cost like 20 grand. And we have a bunch of people in the US. And I'm like, you guys have to understand that in order to do cool shit, we've got to run a really good business. Like we have to be profitable for anybody to do anything cool, for this business to grow, for people to have opportunity. It's got to be profitable. Yeah, it's got to work. It's got to make a lot of money, actually. And like, that doesn't mean we have to be the most expensive thing in the world, but it's got to be really fair and really consistent. And we got to execute like crazy, or it just doesn't work.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think that that's really wise of like sharing like how much things cost, because it makes them understand that it's not just all going in your pocket. And I think also like, you should get paid. You are the one that took the risk. And that's not something, you know, I necessarily would say to my employees of like, why I'm the one, blah, blah, blah. Like I really don't say that to employees, but to fellow owners, yeah, it's like, well, you did take the risk. You are the one at the end of the day. This is a job for them. They can walk away and get another job. Like, if this doesn't work for you, not saying you can't start. So obviously you can always start again, but it's like, it's kind of entrenched in our personality and our identity. So like, honestly, if this didn't work out, I'd feel probably like, you know, where's the nearest bridge, right? Like JK, but kind of not really, like, because it's so much a part of my identity of like, this is who I am. This is my baby, you know? And so I'm just so dedicated to it. So I think that it's not a bad idea to definitely share of like, this is how much things cost, you know?
David's got a couple questions that I want to hit, but on that note, before I hit his next question, I'm curious if you ever run into this. Like, I have people that come to work for me that have like tried to start their own accounting business before, and are like, how do you do it? How do you have 26 people on a wait list, like waiting to be right? Like, it's hard to imagine what it takes to grow a business. And it's the one thing, like, I can put a system and a process behind everything. Yeah. Growth is hard. Like, growth is the last thing. Like, and I'm curious if you've seen this at Serene Clean. Like, you can train how to clean, you can train how to answer the phone, you can train how to sell, you can train how to schedule it, you can train how to do the books. Training somebody how to grow a business, and this is actually what I found when I had all the business around the country. I could train people how to run them. I couldn't train people how to grow them. Yep. Like, growth is weird, and it's nuanced, and it's like energy. It's hard to do. Have you run into people on your team?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I did, you know, kind of flirt with the idea of doing franchises. And so I did a prototype franchise, and I was like, you know, is this the path that I want to take Serene Clean? And I decided no, because what you're describing is exactly what I was running into, is like, you could give them everything and it still didn't mean that they were going to be successful. It's like, and that's why, like, even, you know, I have my competitors listening to Filthy Rich Cleaners. In that podcast, I'm incredibly transparent. I tell exactly what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. I explain everything in excruciating, transparent detail, and they still aren't going to be able to do what I've done. And again, it sounds cocky, but it's like, because I'm seeing it, like, it's like, and because it's like, it's not just one thing or another thing, it's putting it all together and then doing it over and over again. And I would say that one of my favorite books that kind of describes this is called The Ultimate Sales Machine. And it talks about the concept of pig-headed discipline, of that like grind of like, great, go get reviews, but do it every single week. Or great, do this, but then do it every single week for years. And that's where people fail, is just that discipline to just
can
keep
you really
doing.
be consistent?
It's so boring. Like, running a successful business, it's a freaking grind to just keep doing the same things over and over. And then you wake up one day and you look at this and you're like, oh, like, look at this thing and then like, how does it happen?
Every week doing a podcast. I do 2 podcasts a week, and people are like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I don't know. I just grab and just keep showing up. I just keep showing up and talking with fun people. And as long as I drink a couple beers and have like good fun people on, I mean, like, frankly, Stephanie, like, you and I couldn't hang out as much at CleanCon, because when you're at a convention, it just got all the things going on. This is it. Like, this is, if we had time to go have a couple beers together, like, this is the same shit we'd be talking about, right? But it's like, this is my time to hang out with business owners in a one-on-one and just like act like we're at the bar.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Talking about business. And so, like, you got to build it in a way that you like to show up every day, because you have to show up every day with some energy and excitement about what you're doing. And if you don't build it right, you're going to show up and be like,
oh yeah. Well, one of my favorite sayings is like, what's your favorite flavor of shit sandwich? That's like living the dream. You know, what do you want to eat every day that is desirable enough that you can eat it? And that's literally what it is. I don't have like a poop thing, I promise. It's just coming up a lot in this episode.
Well, especially you got the Afghan thing, and then it's just rolling. Now it's coming. It's a shit sandwich. Hey, this is hitting home for me because I have a 3-year-old and he's wiping his own butt, or not, because every time I change his underwear, I'm just like, man, did you wipe? Did you not wipe? Are we like, do I need to show you how to wipe? I don't know. Always something. It's always something in the plot household. All right, I'm gonna get you off of your poop train, Stephanie. Here we go.
Off the poop train. Yep.
David wants to know, what is the career progression for your cleaners? He's in Finland, and cleaning business is very different in this country. Do you guys have like a career ladder, an escalation thing for your cleaners to like move through ranks, or get like out of cleaning and move up into leadership or office stuff? Or how does that look at Serene Clean?
Yeah, so I'm so happy you brought this up, David, because this literally was one of our key takeaways from the workshop I just went to in Las Vegas. And that was one of the questions that we asked their kind of lead of hiring was, do you feel that this is necessary? Because for 7 years, we have had zero career path for cleaners. It was cleaners and management. That was it. And obviously I don't need a million managers, of course, like it's mostly cleaning techs. And that was one of the biggest takeaways from the conference for us was we need a career path, because this is leading to stagnation, not financially, but from a responsibility and feeling like they have somewhere to go up. And so I asked, I was like, do you think this is hurting us? And he was like, most definitely, you need to implement a career path. And so literally June 1st, we are announcing our new career path that we're going to be doing for our cleaners. And so it's going to be Cleaner Tech 1, Cleaner Tech 2, and then Senior Cleaning Tech 1 and 2, and then above that is going to be management. So we are implementing this, and how we're going to go about this. And this is brand new. Listen, my cleaners don't even know this. Like, shh, if your cleaners are watching, don't say anything. If any of my, don't ruin the surprise. It's not done. It's still cooking in the oven, okay? But yeah, June 1st, we are announcing this to our staff that this is going to be what's happening. And so what that's going to look like is zero difference in responsibility from Cleaner Tech 1 or 2. What that's going to mean is they must qualify by their behavior over time to be a Cleaner Tech 2. And then once they qualify for that with good quality, attendance, et cetera, that type of thing, then they get bonuses every month based on maintaining a certain level of excellence, right? And so they can't qualify for Cleaning Tech 2 until we've seen 6 months of a certain level of attendance and procedure following, that type of thing. But once they hit it, then every month they are eligible to get certain bonuses related to excellence, and they don't get that if they don't hit those parameters. And then the senior tech positions, those are going to be where it's like, that's a promotion, you have different responsibilities, but that's only going to be on as needed. Exactly.
You're doing quality checks. Stuff like
that type of stuff. Yeah. And there'll be raises associated. We still haven't even figured out what that is. Like, this is literally like in draft form. We're working on this tomorrow in my operations meeting. So like, it's really exciting because I'm like, I really think this is going to be a huge unlock for us of turnover, because a lot of people churn between like a year to 2 years and they go to other, even though we've got benefits, they get raises every year if they're performing well. So it's like, it's not that, like, people really want to feel like they're not stagnant, you know? And so I'm super excited to introduce this.
Heck yeah. He asked traineeship, summer job, internships, big deal in Finland. Do you run into that in your business? I know, like, and I'm gonna preface it real quick. You started with part-time, and I always found part-time was like hard in a recurring service style business, because you've got, you know, Monday clients and Tuesday clients and Wednesday clients, and so you kind of need people that can be consistent and reliable. Has that changed for you, where you now are like, now you kind of got to be full-time, and maybe we'll take a part-timer, but they got to be working towards full-time? How do you manage that staffing, and do you have room to bring on like non-long-term employees? Now, there's some non-long-term employees, but unintentionally,
not by choice.
You intend for them to be long-term, but they don't work out long-term. How do you guys view that?
Yeah, most people we bring on are unintentional interns for sure. That's funny. So great question, because actually we still do incorporate heavily part-time. So I would say most of our staff are not full-time. You know, for us, full-time is 30 hours or more. That's how they get into that tier, and they can qualify for things like health insurance, that type of stuff. But so for us, how we deal with that of like being able to be consistent for the clients is you must have a certain amount of static availability that stays constant. consistent. But that static availability can be really whatever you desire. So it's like if you want to work Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that's your static availability. You cannot change that week to week, right? You can only change your static availability. For us, the policy is every 4 months. If you're going down, if you're going up, obviously, like, yeah, I'm available on Tuesdays now. Great, you can do that.
We'll put you on. Yeah,
we'll put you on.
But don't bullshit about it, because if you rescind it, now like you're in
Exactly.
violation of the policy.
Exactly. And that's why we put that in, because people kept vacillating on their availability and it was becoming a scheduling nightmare. So yes, we still, because most of our staff are women, most are mothers, like we want, like flexibility is a key part of our culture. And one of our other core values is family first. So it's a big deal to us. But the way we can make that work for our clients is your static availability must stay consistent. Like if you're available on Mondays, you're available on Mondays. Like that's what that is. And so you can't every week change what that's going to look like. When it comes to, and that's worked well for us, especially because we do commercial. We have so many like people who they start at, 2 in the afternoon and they go till 8 o'clock at night. Like our availability is all over the place when it comes to our staff. So what works for them, what works for the client, that type of stuff. When it comes to like internships or anything like that, we've never had an internship. However, summer work is definitely something that we have introduced, especially summer is our busiest season with move outs, a lot of one-offs, a lot of vacation rental stuff. Like we've pretty much cut all of our vacation rentals. So if we have somebody who's like, for say a student or even teachers, like we will hire teachers in the summer because they want work. And so that works really well. And it's just like, or they'll go back down very minimally during the school year or whatever their situation is in the fall. So it's not uncommon for us to do that, especially because our demand is higher in the summer. So it kind of works naturally for both of us. It's a very symbiotic relationship. But yeah, no internships. Training obviously is it's training for everybody. And that just depends on their availability, how fast we can get them out of training. But for us, most people are ready to go after about 10 days if they're full time. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it almost seems like some can almost get out in like 5 days. And then
if they're rock stars.
And once they had 10 days, you're like, I just don't know if they're gonna get
if it takes that long to get through, like honestly, they should be ready in like 7, honestly. But then we're doing lots of quality checks, that type of thing. But we've got a pretty good training program. And that was one of the things from the clip with the Hermosi thing was he suggested group training. And that was like a totally new concept to me because we've always done one-on-one training. And so that was a real paradigm shift for us of like, okay, how can we make group training work that doesn't overwhelm the trainer? Because that was my biggest concern. Like, how can we do that? And so we've already put it into place. We're already starting to do group training and it's working well so far. We've only done, I think, 1 round of it, but our next round is either this week or next week. And just, being creative with how we can do that because it's costly to train. It's both time because our trainer is also our on-call person, is also our quality controller. So when she's training, she's not available for all the other things that her responsibility are. So if we can double up or even triple up on training in a week, all of a sudden, it's going to be a big deal for us. So we're playing it by ear, and I'm just having her be very transparent of like what's working, what's not, and I'm really excited to implement that. I think it's going to be a huge help for us.
That is a thing that the group training, not by intent but by necessity. We have so many trainings all at once. But we've been so unintentional about it because anything that happens is a reaction thing. You like do it first and they're like, son of a bitch, we need some processes around this. And David, his next question was about AI. That like I put 2 prompts into Claude and all of a sudden I like have a training software.
It's
such
crazy.
An intentional thing for us is like we need to get, it's clearly our bottleneck. Like if it wasn't, we wouldn't have a wait list if we could get people faster. I don't mind. And especially it's bookkeeping. I'm like, man, you've been doing it shitty for 3 years. You can, and like I had a demo today and Stanley was the guy's name. And he's like, Dan, if it's a month, that's fine. I've been fucking this up for 2 years, man. I appreciate that you appreciate it. Like, I'm committed to like when we engage, we're going to do the best damn job. That's why we named ourselves.
I love that.
But like, I'm not going to dive in to do a half-ass job. Like,
it's so funny that you say that because like, and like you said, it's like, what's another month of like mediocrity, frankly. My boyfriend is in accounting and finance. And so we were talking about this before I jumped on of like, trying to, when somebody all of a sudden they realize they need to do bookkeeping. Because that was one thing I was very grateful that I knew bookkeeping before, basic bookkeeping, obviously not your level, but like enough to do my cleaning business from day one. And so the books are clean. They've been that way. We still internally do our books. And so but most people are not, they don't have that. Right. And so it'll be years. And a lot of times I'll jump on consulting calls or I talk to people and, I clean con. It's like, like our books are a mess. Like they don't even know how much they're bringing in or how much they're spending. It's that bad. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, with the IRS. But it's like, what's one more month, right?
If it's bad, it's bad. And you made it this far. Like the main thing is that we just get it right when it's time to get it right.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I was wondering what the hell was behind you there for a second. And now I see there's a cat behind you. And I was like,
Jenny, she
I was just like,
she looks
like, is there a mirror back there? And there's something actually on the other side. I was like, what is happening behind her? Do I need to
let
her know
there is a demon coming for me. They are little demons.
I thought there was a demon coming for you, but then it's just
3 a.m. comes around, they just get all freaky and yowly and they run around the house and terrify me. And so cats are
like kids. Yeah, it's just like kids. Yeah, 3 a.m. You're like, what are you doing up? I had to pee, and then I decided I want to go in the downstairs bathroom, and then I walked through this like gate that was locked, and you're like, what?
Have you ever woken up to like your child standing over you in bed? Because I remember I used to do that to my parents when I was little, like I didn't want to wake them up, so I just stand there and stare.
Like once or twice. The thing that none of my kids, I'm knocking on wood here. I was a sleepwalker. I peed on the stairs one time. Like when I was
gosh.
This also would happen in college if you drank too much. You get the phantom piss thing going on. But, I only did that once. I did that once in college, but I did it a bunch as like a toddler when I was like potty trained, and I was totally a sleepwalker. And so like there was one time and I slept on the top bunk. I tried to climb up the shower curtain.
Oh my gosh. Holy crap.
Pull that son of a bitch down. Me. My dad caught me peeing on the top of the stairs one time when I was like sleepwalking. None of my kids sleepwalk. They all sleep so damn good. And I'm like,
good.
I dodged a bullet. I thought that was for sure the thing that like
I'm gonna get you.
As a kid, the things that you do when you're like, oh crap, now I'm an adult. My kids are gonna have all the same tendencies that I had. None of them have that. They all have a lot of my bullshit and loud, obnoxious thing that I do, but they don't sleepwalk. And so I'm like, we got that.
I mean, that's a win. That's a win. I'm just picturing you like in Step Brothers, like Dale and Brennan, like sleepwalking in. Yeah, like that's.
When I was a kid, that was me. Then when I was a kid, that was me totally. I don't know if I ever like stared at my parents. I think I was just. I didn't want to like even sleepwalking. Dan, I knew enough not to go in there because then they'd stop me doing whatever mischief I was up to.
Right.
I would go elsewhere. And they'd hear my footsteps and they'd be like, "Shit, Dan's up again. He's doing something." Are you getting them or am I getting them? Like I only know this secondhand. I don't remember any of it. Yeah. This might all be false. I might be giving you false information. I don't know. I'll sleep.
So is it true you shouldn't wake up a sleepwalker? Is that true? Like that's all I know from Step Brothers is what I know about sleepwalking. So that means nothing.
I don't know, but it's funny if it is.
Yeah, like don't wake them up.
I'm trying to think. This is all from when I was like 3, right? Yeah. And so it's like it's when how you've heard there's certain stories that you've heard enough where you
so
can
many times
picture it, but at the same time you're not quite sure if you actually remember it or if it's just so vivid because you've heard the story so many times. Like these are stories that my parents love to embarrass me with, especially in high school, right? Like if you're dating somebody, your parents are like, oh, let me tell you about
he peed down the store. Yeah.
He peed in the laundry chute, he peed down the stairs. These are like the stories I've been told, but did I really? Or is it just my dad being like, imagine me, but another 30 years older, super full of shit.
Yeah. Like, I would believe that he would make that up just to embarrass you.
10 times more full of shit. There's no way to know if any of that is real. Speaking, Crosby, come here.
Speaking of,
it's bedtime now. This is the next.
Oh, hi. Is that a redhead I see? Is that a fellow ginger?
Did you call me
mommy? Red on camera.
See, he just called me mommy. Total full of crap. Why are you booping me? Okay. Honk honk. Yep. Are you going to bed? No. What are you doing in here? Isn't it bedtime?
Yeah.
Oh, but you're not going.
He's like, I'm not going
Okay.
to bed.
All right. Good luck, huh?
Hello. Hi.
What are you gonna say?
Hi.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Dude,
Oh,
can you shut the
cute.
door? Can you shut that door? Shut the door, dude. Now he's just being a comedian, and he just like danced out of there and shook his butt and just kept walking. Crossed out. Shut that door, Marty. Can you shut that door? I'm on a podcast. Get out of here. Now my wife started trying to talk to me because she thinks I'm just talking to the kids. I'm like, no. And now he's running away from her. It's just pure entertainment around here.
Oh gosh, that's
the youngest of
awesome.
three. That's the youngest of three.
Mm.
And like I said, it's just one of those things where like, man, he's just like me. Every silly thing that he's doing, I'm like, I can't get mad.
Yep, that
my
was me.
fault.
I
It's
know.
my fault. It's all my
Little
fault.
mini me. I know. Like I mean, I want kids, but it's gonna be probably a couple years because I'm really trying to just enjoy like life at every stage because I feel like when that was part of being in my 20s is like it felt like what's the next, and so now I'm just like, what's really awesome is sleep and like not having children. I know someday that's gonna be awesome, but that's not today.
Yeah, it is. We did. I don't remember exactly what we did. It's all a blur. But
Yeah.
all of our kids sleep freaking lights out.
That's
I don't know what we did, but
Yeah.
all three of them are phenomenal sleepers. Like it might be genetic because I'm a really good sleeper. Like
Mhm.
I'm a 6 hour a night like sleep guy. I'm
Yeah.
just like I get my 6 hours and I'm up and I go. I don't always
Wow.
want to get up, but like
Yeah.
I like train myself on it, so that's just what I do. My wife's more of like a 9 to 10 hour.
Yeah.
Like she
Mhm.
likes to sleep, but like when we're asleep, we are unwakable.
Out.
We're
Oh,
just-
same.
we're
Yep.
zonked. We're power sleepers, and we can fall asleep in like 2 seconds. It is a skill
Yeah.
set, and our kids acquired that skill set.
Oh,
Where they're like, "I'm not tired."
boom.
It's like, yeah, they're out. They're tough. They're tough. I
That's
do
awesome.
appreciate that they acquired that from us.
Yeah.
David said, "I have to go now. It's 4 a.m. here in Finland." I hope
Damn, Dave.
he's gonna sleep well. He's
Yeah.
gonna sleep 4 a.m.
Sleep well, David. Thank you for joining us. That's crazy.
That's wild. Stephanie, let me hit you with this, and then we'll wrap things up because there's no end to the show. We could keep going, but at some point,
I
one of us has to
know.
take a leak
I
and-
got like 4 more margaritas in the fridge. So like
I do have one more tall boy on standby. But I'm curious, like, at what point did you start doing podcasting? Was that like here we are, and I guess we're doing a podcast? Was it something you thought about and like waited on for a while, or was it just a thing you fell into? And how has that progression gone?
Yeah, so definitely something I fell into. So about 2.5 years now, I reached out to Amar from ZenMaid, who's the CEO of ZenMaid, right? And so again, I mentioned earlier in the episode that they have this mastermind on Facebook, which is just like a free Facebook group, right? Just to go in, ask questions if you're a cleaning business owner or thinking about opening. And so I'd been a member of that for years because I was a customer of theirs. And so I'd been posting, and they have something called the Maid Summit, which is a virtual Maid Summit where basically they ask folks in the industry to do educational talks. And it's free. So anybody can watch that stuff. And so I had done several Maid Summit talks based on I had just started posting in that group things that were working, and they're like, hey, I really like this. So they asked me to do Maid Summit talks. Those did well. And so I was like, people were kind of asking me to start a YouTube channel because they liked my style. And I was like, okay, I'm either going to open a YouTube channel or whatever, start a YouTube channel, which I really didn't want to manage a YouTube channel and start from scratch. I'm like, I own a cleaning business. I don't want to edit videos. I like to yap, but I want to give it to somebody else and take it from there. And so I reached out to Amar. I literally just cold emailed him, and I'm like, yo, bro, like I am either going to do this or I could make content for you. And we could come to some, agreement here. And he was like, heck yeah, let's go. So I started making YouTube videos for them just on different topics, a couple times a month, just engaging more with their stuff, making some short form content. And then they invited me out to Amsterdam. And that's when they discovered I met their entire development team and just everybody in the company, not just the marketing department that I had interacted with previously. And they were like, oh, this lady, she might be very useful from like the development side of the software because I have lots of opinions. I have lots of opinions and I am willing to share them. And so I started talking to the developers. I was like, oh, this is what we need to do in the software, that type of thing. And so after Amsterdam, that's when I started meeting weekly with their design and development team. And that's, I'm still to this day, I'm in that meeting every single week of just giving feedback on features of like, what do I think? What's best practices for the owners? What's going to help them the most in the business? Like, what do we need? And so we just kept going for the remainder of that year when it came to like the content, and they were like, hey, we want to start a podcast. We think that this is going to be the best route from a content perspective, because obviously lots of bang for your buck when you get a podcast, because you can reuse it for short form, you can reuse it for articles, all sorts of stuff. And they're like, we'd love for you to be the host. And so they just broached it with me. And so we just talked it through. We came up with the name, and I love the name Filthy Rich Cleaners, obviously, because it's like, I think it suits, you know, what the goal is like to teach people how to be rich in a lot of ways, not just money. And also just very, you know, if anybody's watching this, maybe somebody's watching this, it's very much like my personality is very, very, I would say, open and authentic, and just, I guess, real, lots of cursing and real stories of like, yeah, sometimes you are squeegeing shit. Sometimes your cleaners are caught by clients masturbating in the Airbnb. Sometimes that happens, and you got to tell the story. It could happen, and it did happen to me. And you have
it could happen, or sometimes you walk in on a client doing some things, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is what's happening now.
That shit happens, and we need to talk about it so that other owners know when something crazy happens, like, oh, it's not just me, right? And so we decided on 2 episodes a week, and so that's, you know, as you know, that's a pretty, like, it's aggressive. Like 2 episodes a week is very,
it's a lot of content.
It's a lot, and just being able to like plan things out enough in advance, like it's a lot. And so luckily, because I have, you know, the Zen Maid team, they're kind of handling all the back end, I can just show up. And so 1 episode is a guest episode every week, and then 1 episode's a solo, and that's where I just kind of talk about whatever I want to talk about, and whatever's going on in Serene Clean, or things that I'm seeing just in general, or ideas I have, whatever. And so honestly, it's been amazing. I love podcasting because I love to talk. I'm genuinely just, I'm a very curious person by nature of like, I want to know. But probably what, you know, being a cleaning business owner, like if you're nosy, like open a cleaning business, because it's like, it's fun to see inside people. Yeah, you're in there. You get to see people's lives. I love seeing pretty houses. I love seeing, you know, it's fun. And so I think it really suits a lot of things for me, and it's just been really fun. And so, yeah, we're now a darn near a year and a half in. We're at 150 episodes almost, and it's been just amazing. I seriously love it. And it's been crazy to see, like, because the thing is with cleaners, they be cleaning. They need stuff to listen to. So like, it's honestly a great, like, they need stuff to listen to. And so it's been awesome. I have guests on that are a wide variety. Like they could be just opening, or they may have, you know, multi-million-dollar company that they sold. Like I love giving like a huge smattering of guests. Obviously, Dan, you're gonna have to get on there, Dan. We're gonna have to have you on.
I can yap.
I know you can yap. I'm experiencing it. And so we're going to have a killer episode. I already know it. So it's been a blast. It's been one of the best like additions to my career, I would say, of like, I really get a lot of enjoyment out of this.
I appreciate your approach to it too, because I had reservations. This was back in 2018, 2019, about like when you were starting your cleaning company. I was starting my podcast. It used to be called Bookkeeping, Beer and BS. And I started doing bookkeeping for people in 2018. And a buddy of mine was like, he had a podcast called Journey of a New Entrepreneur. He was a pressure washing guy, but he had left the corporate world and started from scratch. And so his podcast was all about interviewing
documenting
new entrepreneurs and like their entrepreneurial story. And he just had the voice and the personality for it. And he's edgy and goofy. And I have like 2 like very distinct memories of getting into podcasting. And his main thing was, dude, nobody's talking about finance stuff. And even if they were, it'd be so damn boring. Yep. But like, you have a way of talking about finance stuff and not making it boring. And you can like drink a beer while you do it. Like, can you turn that into a show? And I didn't, I was like, I don't know. Right. Like, I do talk about it a lot with like my friends and my business owner clients and whatever, but I don't know how to broadcast it and make content around. I remember like when I first started that podcast, Bookkeeping, Beer and BS, it was just me on my phone. I was so nervous, my hands like shaking. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm going to tell you about like why this tax strategy thing is a bunch of bullshit that people keep telling you. And so I would just do like tidbits, and then it turned into like an interview style show where we talk with business owners and talk about finances and whatever. And then I started doing a radio show. So I have a radio show on Turf's Up Radio, which is like a green industry focused thing. I do a panel on that. So just like you, I do 2 shows a week, but one's like, I view it as a sports morning radio show. You got like the personalities on there, but mine's a rotating panel because it's a bunch of small business owners. And so there's like a bunch of people that have an invite, but who knows which 4 or 5 are going to show up. Every once in a while, there's a monologue. especially in the springtime, because so many people are so busy in the springtime.
Busy.
I might get one people, aka me, or I might get 4 or 5. So we do like an hour-long radio style show, and then obviously we have the open-ended sitting at a bar. Who knows how long? Joe Rogan style interview.
Yeah.
and again, like I have just found, as long as you make it fun for you, it's fun for everybody, right? Because if you as the host aren't having fun, everybody can feel it. Like it feels like an obligation, and it's still, and I think it's important for us to all recognize, like, we got to drop a lot of knowledge, but more important than anything, we got to entertain. It's like when you
have to entertain.
You have to entertain. You can't just go on stage and put up slides and teach. Ain't nobody gonna listen. You have to entertain. It's got to be funny. It's got to be goofy. It's got to be edgy in your own way.
Absolutely. Yeah. Don't like, but it's like, if you already have that personality, which you do, I do, like, for sure. And that's where, like, I think if you have this kind of personality, it's like, yeah, go talk about what you've experienced. And I think the power of storytelling cannot be understated here, of just like, tell people a story. You know, we have so many stories that can highlight the point, right? Like, and that's even like with staff members, of like, you know what, when we're rolling something out, a stupid new rule to them, they think, and it's like, guys, this is why we're doing this, because this crazy thing happened. And like, just like it allows people to understand what you're trying to teach them. Because at the end of the day, we are trying to teach, we're trying to, you know, influence them positively. But if you can't make that interesting, especially, it's like, there's so many crazy things that happen in business. Like, I honestly have blacked out over most of it, but it's like, it's really like, sometimes somebody will say something and be like, oh my God, this happened to me. Even like letting a staff member move in. Like, honestly, I forget that even happened, you know? And then
I forgot it happened until you brought it up. And I was like, had a flashback where I was like, holy shit.
I did that too. Yeah. And the thing is, she was also sleeping with my male cleaner at the time. Like, I had a guy cleaner and they were sleeping together. So and then they were both telling me about like their relationship issues. And then she like scammed him out of a bunch of gas money, because she said
you
she
got
was
right in the middle of that.
It was this whole thing. Whole thing. And I'm like, oh, that was so juicy and titillating. I can't believe that happened. And it wasn't fun when I was experiencing it, but looking back, and I was like, oh yeah, that was kind of crazy. And
type
so now
that I call that type 2 fun, which isn't my
exactly
type 1 fun. That's being on a roller coaster. Type 2 fun is the stuff you tell stories about later, but at the time you're like, this is freaking nuts.
Oh yeah, no, for real. And like, that's what I love about the podcast too, is I get to, and like, I always ask, like, tell me something crazy that's happened, because every single person that I've had on, I'm like, oh, so glad that you asked. Like, is this a grown-up story? And I'm like, shoot. Like last week's episode, literally, last week's episode or 2 weeks ago, an owner who she runs a really thriving vacation rental cleaning business in New Orleans. And you know, that's a party city, right? So people be out there doing crazy shit. And so I'm like, tell me. She's seen some things. She's seen some things. One of them being many of them. I mean, there's been drive-by shootings. There's been human-sized holes in walls because people have gotten in fights, and they just got to put a mirror in front of it because guests are coming in. They got to hide that hole in the wall. But the crazy one was like a huge golden shower party where the mattress was so soaked they had to get a new mattress in there before the guests came in because it was so saturated with pee. And I'm like, do tell more.
You don't run into that every day.
You don't run into that every day.
But
it's like, those are the types of things of like, you have no idea what tomorrow is going to bring as a business owner. You simply don't know what's about to hit yet. And so it's like, solve the problem, but then like, you know, like with my cleaner who, you know, the guest walked in and he was jerking it like at a vacation rental on the clock, right? I'm so happy that happened because now I get to tell that story for the rest of my life, and that's so funny.
It was one bad embarrassing day, but made up for by years and years worth of hilarity.
Oh, he's a legend. He's a legend around my business.
Absolutely. So I remember Renee. We had Renee, a dude that worked for us, and he got caught peeing in the bushes outside. Not jerking it, but like just holding more. Got caught peeing in the bushes, and just like, I'll just never forget his face. How embarrassed he was when he came back to the office. And I was like, dude, like you at least, he was turned. The guy came around the corner, and Renee's like dick out, face and I'm like,
oh no,
dude, you couldn't. There's so many different ways to go about that. Like, there's trees over there. There's, you know, like whatever, like find a better spot. Like, what a bad spot. You picked a bad spot, man. Like, be a good adult and pee in a conspicuous place. Not where the guy's going to walk around the corner, man.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Yeah, my cleaner, he didn't even know that they saw it because they didn't interrupt. They just saw it through the glass door. And they let the owner know, the owner let us know. All women, everybody's a woman except my cleaner in this situation. So yeah, that was wild.
That's just like, oh man. Oh man.
Like we're like, what car was it? Yeah, and I'm like, how many times have I paid him?
You were that horny. You couldn't wait. You were that horny. Like,
like
on the job, you were like, I gotta take a break here. And
I know. Obviously, we played that scenario of like all of the reasons like this happened, and I'm just like, how many times have I paid for this to occur? Like, because he's alone in vacation rentals all the time. So I'm just like,
you just happened.
Exactly. So you just, either laugh or cry, and I'd rather laugh. You know what I mean? So
yep. Yeah, there's no going back. It's happened. There's no going back.
Exactly.
What so what is it like? What are you working on now? What's next? Obviously, you've got some changes at Serene Clean, some like big moves you're putting in place. What else is in the pipeline for you? What are you excited about? What are you nervous about? What are you scared about?
Yeah, definitely a ton of structural changes happening at Serene Clean in order for us to like break through the plateau that we've kind of been at now for a while when it comes to just the size we've been able to get to. And so I think I'm very excited about, switching to flat rate. We're already seeing a huge influx of recurring from that because it's just like, here's your price. And people are choosing to go with that. So that's really exciting to see. I think that's going to be a huge lift to our profitability as well. So I'm really excited about that, to see the impact. I'm excited about the career path, as I've mentioned, because I think that that's going to be a big game changer and motivate a lot of our staff to be like, oh, this is the long-term thing to do. And I'd really just love to see us get back to, over 1.5 mil. That's definitely my current goal is that. So there's been a lot of new KPIs and metrics that we're tracking and just really focusing on like net monthly recurring revenue. Like that's our big metric of like, we want to add X amount of MRR every month. Like that's our gold standard, right? Like, can we get that number up? So it's been really great to kind of organize the KPIs in a much better way so that my managers are all on, like, we're all on board and we're all kind of rowing in the same
looking
direction.
at the same scoreboard.
Exactly. And so that's been really good. And like, they've definitely expressed how good they feel of having that clarity of like, what are we even doing right now? And what should we be doing? Because last year was so hard on all of us when it came to the turnover and burnout. So I feel like we have a real like new lease on life when it comes to it. I think that, so that's really exciting. I'm very excited just when it comes to like the podcast and stuff. I do independent consulting as well with owners, and I'm kind of like putting a pause. That was one of my clarifying moments from the Hormozy thing was like, I got too much shit going on. I need to focus on Serene Clean if I want to like do this. So I'm cutting drastically back on that for the time being, at least, just so I can focus and really, because, for me, I love marketing. Like that's where branding and marketing, that's where my strengths are. And I think that's one of the biggest strengths of Serene Clean. So like, all right, I'm good at this right now. I do not have the time or energy to focus on that heavily. So like, how can I do that? And marketing for staff, right? Like, it's like, that's our biggest problem is like, how can we get more staff in? So, interviewing cleaners, turning that into ads and getting more applicants. So I'm really excited about a lot of things, I think. And honestly, just this year with all of the travel and fun and just, I don't know. Like, I think this decade's about to be pretty lit, I think. So I'm feeling good.
Everybody loves their 20s. I think the 30s were the best. We'll see how the 40s is. But like the 30s is when I had like my biggest life changes of leaving the corporate world, doing the small, which you already did the small business thing, but like having kids and like trying to figure out how to do everything as efficiently as possible. Cause like there's never less to do. There's always more that you want to do. If you're an energetic, engaged person, there's always more that you want to do.
It's tough to say no. Yeah.
Super tough. And like kudos to you for like abandoning some things. It took me, and maybe there's like a 7-year thing with that. It took me 7 years of running home service businesses and having like Higher Lead Chill, who was next to me when we saw each other at CleanCon. Like I own part of that business, bought that from my current partnership, bookkeeping, did all the home service things. And then I went like, oh, son of a bitch. There was a time I went to Debbie's event, like CBF Live down in Dallas. I was at a mastermind the week before that. And then my St. Louis general manager put in her notice while I was like traveling. Holy shit. I had to go to St. Louis the third week in a row with 3 little kids. I missed my 4-year-old's birthday. And I went, the fuck
what am I doing? What am I doing?
Yeah, it's like one of those, like, you just like, that's not the dad that I want to be. And not like, don't get me wrong. I'm not like, oh, sweet, a 4-year-old birthday party. Let me Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty good at playing with 4-year-olds. Don't get me wrong. I can drop my maturity level down that far, no problem. That's kind of the level I tend to play at. Like, give me some magnetiles and some have a good ass time. I'll build the shit out of you kids.
Yeah.
But it was like a real slap in the face of like, I will run one. It was a commitment to myself of I will run one business. I will invest in others, and I invested in Entirely Chilled because I love Sean, I love Nikki, and like that whole team. But I will run Best Damn Bookkeeping, and I will not run another business. I won't do it. Like, I'm just gonna make this one the best damn bookkeeping business, and everything I do will be this business and not run another one because there's just too much to do.
Yeah, and I think that it's the whole like. Unfortunately, like the better you get at things, the more opportunities are going to come your way. And that was one of the reasons that Serene Clean really sucked ass last year, is because I was not focused. I was getting, speaking engagements and all of these things. And it was so exciting. And it felt like it was fine. And then I was like,
oh, like good activity.
Yeah,
like, it was good activity.
Yeah. And I didn't realize until I did like a big ass audit at the end of the year of like what actually happened. And I'm like, this is my fault. Like, this is my fault. I need to like get back in line and focus here. And so that has been really good, but it also has like reinvigorated me for the business because for, a time there, I was just kind of like, I don't even like, this isn't feeling great to me.
Motions,
going through the motions. So I feel like
you're just eating a shit sandwich that doesn't taste so good.
I don't really like this. Like, can I get some mustard, please? So now I'm feeling really good just eating that thing without any mustard. And it's just giving me a lot of joy again and a lot of purpose again. So I think that just really focusing on that, but then because of the podcast, it still scratches that itch of helping people. I'm like, I want to have I want to have a big impact. I want to have a huge impact on my industry because I'm like, the more owners I can help and teach how to do things, the more they're going to be great bosses and the more they can give to their community. So I feel like that is the best way to, just have a big impact is by teaching other people, but also within reason for me. So I really like that. The podcast is kind of like that outlet for me.
Yeah, totally. You and I are living parallel lives because I'm just like, I'm getting down to my one thing and I will do the podcast because it supports my one thing. Like, a lot of people that sign up for our service because they hear my thing. And so it supports that business, but it's also it's a way to build relationships. And I'm such a relationship guy. Like, everything is relationship. And if we can just like hang out with the people we like to hang out with and build the relationships, like everything else kind of, the movement happens in the right way. The mojo gets going. So just got to make it happen, but you got to do it with the boundaries. Got to do it.
Yeah. It's tough as new opportunities come, and it's just like, okay, like, and also like free opportunities. That's the thing is like, oftentimes I'm very flattered because I'm like, oh, you're thinking of me. And it's like, so let me do this thing. And it's like, don't like, not this, of course, because you're going to be on my podcast. So, tit for tat, but like in general, it's just like, I oftentimes like, I still continued, I think, to undersell of like, your time is valuable now and you don't have a lot. And that opportunity cost is very, very strong now of like, if you choose to go do this thing, like that means you can't do these other things. And just almost treating myself like a child of like having like, that's
you have to say no to yourself. It's so weird. It's so weird. Like, you used to be able to just do whatever the hell you wanted.
I know. Yeah, for sure. So that's been the tough part, is just being really discerning, So I'm looking forward to this year. I think it's going to be, it's already halfway through, which is insane. But like, I think we're getting like, we are seeing the fruits of our labor right now. And that's really awesome because like, just the metrics are like, we're doing the damn thing right now. And it feels really good. And I can tell like the whole staff is feeling that like energy, because when I'm giving that out to them, like every Monday morning meeting is like amazing. Like that, that's a whole team meeting. And it's just like high energy.
You start feeling the energy back big time.
Yeah. So I'm feeling really good about the business. I'm loving it.
I gotta hit my man Rob's comment here. He said, this podcast makes me want to have a drink with Dan. Rob is like my whenever he wants co-host. You probably noticed like on the meeting invite, there's like 8 emails. One of them's Turfs Up Radio, so that they know when we're going live. Rob is like 2 of them because his office emails, personal emails in there. Sometimes he just jumps on in. Sometimes he's like, I got some questions to ask.
Got things to say.
Rob, you like knock yourself out. I know you got a bourbon over there somewhere, Rob. Grab yourself.
Hell yeah.
Stephanie, we're like hitting the 2-hour mark. What have I not asked you yet? So there's a closing question that I've got that I haven't asked in a long time, but I feel like I got to bring it back, and you're the right person to bring it back with. But is there anything I didn't ask you where like, oh, we totally should have talked about this, or we got to take it in this direction before we wrap up? What did we miss?
I just think that I definitely like to represent the very rural like business owner, and that it can be done. Like where I opened Serene Clean is 5,000 people. Second location 10,000. Third is
That's a great
50,000. Like,
point. That's a super good
yeah,
point.
and that is like it can be done there, and there's a lot of strengths to rural because we don't have to compete with franchises. We don't have to compete with a lot of other businesses, and it's really easy to shine. Like if you can have any semblance of marketing, you do what you say you're going to do, and you communicate well, it's like it can be a really great thing. And I love that aspect of it. And then also like that it can also be that you step away from it, and you can be done remotely too without, I was really nervous about like clients finding out, and I think a lot of my clients still have no idea that I'm remote. They literally have no idea because I'm not though I'm the face, I'm not in the contact.
That's the beauty of it. It's like they don't need to
Mhm.
interact with you to run with your business.
Mhm.
Here's the thing I also like about rural is there's something about people that go up in the country. Like you
Mhm.
can't fake that farmer mentality of like do whatever
Mhm.
it takes.
Yep.
And
Hardworking people.
like you just don't, like I live in the city. You don't, there's really hardworking people in the city too, but
Mhm.
percentage wise, it ain't the same.
Yep.
Like in the
Yeah.
country, everybody works hard because that's the only way to do it. That's all you know.
Yep.
It's all there is.
Mhm.
It's just
Yeah,
different.
there's really something to be said about it in that close-knit community of people really like, coming together. And yeah, I really like it. It's something I definitely miss sometimes. I mean, I love Savannah. It's a great city. I think it's a
You
great
got the
size city.
bananas. You got bananas.
I've only seen them out like drinking, and I've had a wild like distaste for them because they're all just a bunch of like frank douchebags. But like, so I've never been to a banana show actually, but I have seen them out in the wild, and they are exactly what you think they are.
If you and I were baseball players, we would be those guys. That's what
Yeah.
we would be.
Unfortunately, so yeah, performers. That's what they are. And I will give it to the owner. Like I listened to a podcast a very long time ago with the founder of that, and that's an amazing. Like he really turned that thing around. It's a really cool business model. So I respect that for sure. But yeah, in general, I love this city. I think it's a great one. It's so fun. It's beautiful. It's humid as hell. That is crazy how humid it is down here. But
You're just walking around in a freaking bowl of soup.
oh yeah, you're sweating at all times. Literally, like it could be, 7 in the morning and you're sweating. It's not even hot out. So that's definitely something. And the bugs down here, man, they're just crazy. But I will say I love it. I love that I'm able to do this. And obviously that's all props to my staff. Like I've got staff that allows this to happen, and I couldn't do it without them. And I'm very, very grateful for every single one of my staff, because I've got like killer people who just love helping people. Like they just really like embody what we're trying to do. And that's awesome when you have a bunch of people doing that together,
Yeah. It is an evolution too. And it takes a while to get there, partially because as you're growing it, you don't know what you're looking for and you don't know where to draw the line and draw the boundaries. And so you put up with a lot of shit. It takes years to get good at discerning that and like when you need to let people go, and just to like find the people that will do whatever it takes and like ride or die and will grow it with you. And when you've got them, you know it. And like, and sometimes you will get surprised when you think you've got them and you're like, oh shit, I didn't think that. Like, where did that come from? But it's like, it's just such an evolution, and like it's part of the building blocks of getting there, growing it.
No, absolutely. And I find that when you've got a good core group, the thing is when somebody who comes in who does not, like they're kind of like a wolf in sheep's clothing kind of thing, they may be able to fake it for a little bit, but you're gonna figure it out. You're gonna figure out that they're not for your team. Yeah.
I'm giving Rob the hall pass here. He's getting the dismissal. He said, I do, but I'm driving to Lowe's right now. So Rob's not going to have a bourbon and jump on.
Not drinking and driving. That's good.
That's so mature of you, Rob. Stephanie, I got one last question. I don't know the last time that I asked this question. I need to bring it back. I don't know why I stopped bringing it. So I'm like, we're going to bring it back now.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, to preface the question of, I'm curious if let's say maid service doesn't even exist. You can't even like robots clean everything. There's no need for cleaning anything. And let's say podcasting doesn't exist. That doesn't live in our world. Nobody's invented it, and you ain't gonna invent it. But you had to go do something tomorrow to like make a buck and help some people. What would you go do?
That's such a good question. I think that that's so tough. What would I do? So I volunteer several days a week at a cat shelter. I've done that for now nearly a year. And so I think I would probably, it depends how bad I need money, because obviously nonprofits don't have money. But like, I really enjoy that. I think
But
like
they do
I do a
still
lot.
pay employees.
Yes, they do.
But they
Yes,
do still pay employees.
yes, exactly. So I run their marketing email blasts. Like I do their newsletter. I do all their marketing, like not all of it, but like I'm heavily involved in. Well, actually, I pay my executive assistant to do that stuff.
Yeah. You help coordinate their newsletter.
Exactly. I was there this morning at 7 a.m. like cleaning out cat litter boxes and stuff. So like I'm very passionate about that. I'm a huge animal lover. So I think maybe something with that. But I think just in general, like I really love branding. I think I have a good like mind for that. So probably something in like the marketing field, I would imagine. I just even like sales, I think I could be good at sales. I mean, I have to be. What am I saying? I'm very good at sales. What am I talking about? But like, I think I could do something in that potentially, because that's what I went to school for. I think if I were to like to start over, like from school again, I'm not really sure, because I think business, I'm made to run a business. I'd probably open a different business, honestly.
I was podcasting earlier today with Ryan Lee, who runs Landscape Lighting Secrets, and I coach in his group 2 landscape lighting companies, which is always a little bit shocking to people because I ain't never installed a landscape light in my life. But I coach
business is business.
And it's like, and I have an outside perspective of like, I don't care what transformers you're putting in, or what wire you're putting down, or what fixtures, or what bulbs. Like, I know what the business model is because I can look at your numbers and tell you more about your business than you probably even know what the heck you're doing. But one of the things he said, like, this always resonates, is business owners are willing to take risks that other people just aren't. And it's the same thing when you said like, oh yeah, I've had people leave. It doesn't work out. They're not willing to actually do what it takes to grow a business.
They're a great cleaner. They're great tech. It's the whole E-Myth concept of like, you're a technician, and I mean that in the best way possible. Like that's what you are. That's fine.
It's awesome to be a good cleaner. Don't try to start a business because you're a good cleaner. That's not how a business works.
Yeah. Whereas like I'm an entrepreneur, like I think I'm born to run a business. So it's like, really, now that I think about that question, it's like, I would just open some other business. Like I'm not passionate about cleaning. I'm passionate about helping people. This is just simply the vessel that has.
Would you open up a vet clinic? Could you see yourself being, because you love animals, would you be a vet, or is it like, is that too close to see animals?
That's too close. Like, I really can't handle that. Like I literally, if a dog dies in a movie, I'm like just, I can't even excuse myself. No, I'm like, I literally I choose not to watch movies where a dog dies. Like I'm not going to watch that. Like because it's so upsetting to me. So I think, I could see something like involved with that potentially, of like, how can I like help or whatever, or like work for Chewy or something like that. That would be fun. Literally my little, I don't know if you can see that painting of my dog. You can't really see it, but right there's a hand-painted picture of my border collie. That's from Chewy. They literally sent me a hand-painted picture of my dog, and she's live. Like they're like, yeah, we're just doing this right now, and I'm like, so they have really cool marketing.
They've got you figured out. They've got you.
Yeah, they know that I'm going to be customer for life. But so probably I would open a business, because it's just like I just can't not, like, it's just, I think I'd be a terrible employee. Like I haven't updated my resume in over 10 years, literally.
What's a resume?
What's a resume? I don't even know what I put on. But like I don't want to work for somebody else. I am a bossy ass bitch, like, and I've been that way since a child. Like it's just like, and it's not even like, I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm itching. Like if I see, like if there's a group of people, I'm just gonna be like the one, like, okay guys, this is what
I'm gonna tell you what's up. I'm gonna
tell you, it's just like somebody's got to do it, and that somebody should be.
Yeah, y'all are waffling around trying to be nice. I'm just gonna tell you what's up. I'm coming in.
Exactly.
You need one of me.
Exactly. So it's just like that itch to just like, let's go. Like I just have this desire to like take action. And I think that's one of the biggest things for like owners is like, though it can, like it's kind of, I've always thought of like, shoot, fire, and then aim, like recalibrate, like just shoot, like let's go. So
I can relate. Well, Stephanie, thanks for hanging out on the show.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know how long it's going to go. We hit like well over the 2-hour mark. It's just what we do. You never know. It's a good combo when 2 hours go by and you're like, how the hell did 2 hours go by? Where did that happen? I don't know.
I mean, this has been a delightful Tuesday evening. But better, I was going to like, I just bought a tiller for my yard. So I was going to till up some garden beds. So this is like way more fun.
Sounds pretty good. I'm itching to get out and garden, and I'm usually like too early because I can't help myself because I'm like what am I going to plant this year? And
Yeah,
so like I usually jump on it too soon. We've been so damn busy this year that I haven't had time to think about gardening, which is probably okay for Minnesota. I need to wait a little bit, but usually I'm like the first dumbass in early May that's like putting tomatoes and peppers in the ground. Like, come on, let's get some warm weather. Here we go now. Big money, no whammies, no whammies.
Yeah.
So you're scratching an itch that I'm.
All my neighbors are old people, so they have all the time of their day. Like their yards are immaculate, and I just feel so like I'm like, I look like shit. My yard looks terrible. I need to do these things, and then I start projects and I can't finish them, and I'm so it's this whole thing of like this pressure. They don't say anything to me, but I know they're looking. Actually, my neighbor texted me and she was like, "I love your dandelions," and I'm like, "That's passive aggressive as fuck."
I pulled out now. I got a lot of dandelions coming up, but I'm working a new strategy, which is I'm putting clover seed down.
Ooh, that'll be pretty.
I have a food plot everywhere. The deer, the turkeys. I live in like a rural neighborhood, or not a rural neighborhood. I'm like in a suburb, the Twin Cities. But like turkeys walking through my yard. There's deer walking through my yards. We got the squirrels. We got the rabbits. I might be on rabbit extermination right now because they do always find their way into my garden, and I do have a pellet gun with a scope, and there may or may not be some rabbits that have found their way into my freezer. But
fair enough.
We got to protect the vegetables. Like
as long as you eat them, I feel like funny enough. Fun fact: I was vegan for 5 years. So imagine it was Wisconsin vegan. Yeah, that's crazy, right? So obviously not anymore. But yeah, I mean, I gave it definitely more than the old college try. So, but I grew up hunting, so it was a very interesting, experience to do that, and don't regret it. It was good though. I like my cheese now.
I tell my kids that all the time. Is like, hunting is such a responsibility, and like I said, we have 4 freezers. We got a lot of flowing through here. We got the FIFO program. I know like what's in each freezer, and I'm like hounding my wife, like, no, not that freezer. We got to go to that freezer. Speaking of my wife, hi.
Oh, hi, Marty.
What? He's still here? Jeez. I will in like 5 minutes. We're just wrapping up. Oh, I got a new garage door today, and my buddy is like just finishing up. Long day for him. He's crushing.
Yeah. Holy crap.
But I do find like it is such a responsibility. Like and like gardening is to me too. It's like it's a responsibility of like taking care of a thing that that is growing you food, but you don't just Rob says, she said, "Be quiet, Dan." That's normally what she says. That's normally
I mean, you're kind of like me of just like progressively getting louder till I'm just shouting because I'm excited.
Is there something wrong with that? Is there something wrong with that? All right, Stephanie, I'm gonna go see my new garage door.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, big deal. It's a big day. Big day in the Plata household. New garage door. Thanks for hanging out, business nerds. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, you guys know what to do. Work smarter and harder. Go earn yourself some pride. Go check out the Filthy Rich Cleaners podcast. Stephanie, do you want people to find you? Where should they find you? How do you want them to find you?
Yeah, definitely just on YouTube, on Spotify, it's going to be Filthy Rich Cleaners Podcast. You can find all content there. My business page on Facebook is Stephanie from Serene Clean. If you want to see my actual business, that's going to be Serene Clean on all socials, all across the board if you're interested in how we do marketing and branding there. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
Booyah. All right, nerds, you guys know what to do. Again, smarter, harder, go earn some pride. Good night.